I'm live. I think we're close enough here. Let me turn this little light down. That's a little better. There we go. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Even if you can only stay for a bit, that is very, very cool. It's nice to spend a little bit of Christmas time with you. Mike Nave, thanks for popping in. Grace Lomas, Merry Christmas. Scotty's Backyard Barbecue, Merry Christmas to you, Scotty. Marcus, Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. And JD from SC, Merry Christmas to you as well. Awesome to have you guys here. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas so far. Mine was pretty laid back. Although this week I did get a lot of the issues and problems that I had before finally situated and sorted out. Let's see if this helps any. I wonder. Oh, well, no biggie. Another life off grid. Morgan, Merry Christmas, dude. Glad you could pop in. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful time. Yeah, I got some of my issues situated and settled this week, which is nice. So the generator is running, everything's charged up, everything's charging. The door closes again, and it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It's absolutely beautiful. I decided to go live a little bit early this week, mainly. So I got on this cycle of doing lives every Saturday, and I thought it would be awesome to go live on Christmas Saturday as well. For anybody else who's out there and spending Christmas alone and wanted to spend some time with other folks and chit chat and enjoy a little bit of Christmas cheer. So we'll be live today until my regular ending time at 4 p.m. So that's why I started at 1 because normally I've been starting at 3, running from 3 to 4 for an hour. And right now I'm going to run from 1 to 4 today. So you're not expected to stay for the whole time. Stay as long as you want. Leave, come back, do whatever you'd like. It's just good to have you here. Nice to enjoy my holiday with you folks out there. Leslie A., Merry Christmas to you as well. Steve Cousins, Merry Christmas. Off-grid living with Living Simple Homestead. John and Sherry, Merry Christmas. Carol, Merry Christmas. Stacy, Merry Christmas. From Cabin Dweller. Smiley, Merry Christmas to you. Oh, you got into a car crash a few days. It could have been much, much worse, but I'll be okay. Right on, Morgan. Man, you've had a trying year, dude. I did see your update though, and so awesome to see that you're making progress and moving forward on your property. Morgan bought a piece of property in the Alaska State land lottery, and his bid won, and he's building a place up there right now, or starting in the starting phases of building the place up there, and looks like he's going with the log cabin now, with the prefab log cabin that he's going to have to put together. Which, trust me, dude, even as young as you are, I think that's a good call, because you're going to get much more house for it when you're done, and you could still do your outbuildings with all the logs that you fall as well. We jump back up here again. Woolly Rhino Adventures, Jim, Merry Christmas, lad. Your open house here in Kansas City where it's 54 degrees and beautifully sunny. Awesome. Scotty, you hit 1,000 subs today. Awesome, dude. You should be at the hours already, man. I think you should be at the hours, but that is fantastic. Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. He's got a new video I haven't had a chance to watch yet. I just saw it before I went live, where he's making herb butter to go with prime rib for one. So you can bet I'm going to count that. I'm going to check that one out myself later, Scotty. Where are we at here? Not so remote. Good afternoon. Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining me. Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas, Mike and Kara. It's been rough, and you're happy to keep pushing forward. Dude, right? It seems sometimes that for every step you take forward, you take 3 steps back. But every once in a while, you'll take 1 step back and 5 steps forward. And it's persistence, right? Slow and steady wins the race. Fat Man Prepper, welcome. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Carol. 2019 Uriel, Merry Christmas to you as well. Hi, Grace in Scotland. Merry Christmas to you as well. So I'll ask some questions during the live chat. But first, before I get going, how's the audio and the video? The video looks a little fuzzy on my own TV, so I don't know how it looks on your guys' end. But how's the audio, more importantly? And can you see the Christmas tree? Jim, Merry Christmas. You're holed up in beautiful Las Cruces, New Mexico, 69 degrees. Nice. And -5 in snow back home. Merry Christmas, Jim. Bob's Hope, Merry Christmas from Mrs. Hope and I. Thank you guys very much. Hope your Christmas is wonderful. 5x5, right on. Thank you, Fat Man Prepper. Much appreciated. Very, very good. So Did you guys have a wonderful Christmas? Did you guys spend your Christmas? We'll go with the first one. Did you spend Christmas with family and friends, or just the tight knit immediate family? And did you have a wonderful Christmas? I hope you did. Oh, Grace is having issues with the Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi on my cell phone right now too, but it's been working pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with that. Tree is beautiful. Good deal. Everything good. Thank you, JD. So yeah, did you guys close immediate family? Did you do the extended family? Or did you celebrate last night? Are you celebrating today? Basic, your basic Christmas hits. Let me know how yours was. Some and your grandkids, Grace. Awesome. Lakeland Wayne, welcome from Lakeland, Florida. Spent it at home. Yep. So did I, obviously. I did go over to Brother Will's mother-in-law's house last night because we get together. Our little Christmas tradition is, if we're not doing a big dinner, our little Christmas tradition is pizza on Christmas Eve. So Will stopped off and got a couple of Papa Murphy's take and bake pizzas, and we baked those up and sat next to the Kenai River as it was freezing and had pizza with friends. So it was very fun. Just you and the dogs and whoever showed up on your live. Awesome. I would have been there earlier too, Fat Man, but literally 20 minutes before I went live here, I finished editing tomorrow's video because I was a slacker and didn't do it yesterday, and I had to get that done before the live because I wasn't sure I would get it all uploaded from home, and I thought I might have to drive to town after the live and upload the video, but I got lucky and got it all uploaded 20 minutes before this live started, so tomorrow's video is ready to go. An idiot in Alaska. I think it's an apropos term for one of my videos. I could almost change the name of my channel to An Idiot in Alaska. Leslie, 5x5 and yes to the Christmas tree. Awesome. Just the two of us. Great day. Awesome. Bob's Hope. Breaking up. I'm breaking up. He's breaking up. Today you had Christmas Day. Okay. Very cool, Grace. Leslie, with just my dogs. Your son came earlier and you exchanged gifts. I saw that. That was awesome. Very, very awesome, Leslie. I'm glad you had that exchange live with the son. I chatted with my daughters and my grandkids. My youngest daughter first because everybody else was asleep in her house, and everybody went to her house this year. And then my oldest daughter and grandkids and everybody else. I chatted with them this afternoon. And then I called Mom probably just around noon. So about an hour ago, I gave Ma a call and chit-chatted with her. And my brother and sister-in-law were over there. Where was I at? Got that part. You'll go to pizza right now. If you can find a pizza parlor. Well, you're in Florida, so you might have a pizza parlor open. Spent Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with 21 family members. Big Christmases when I was a kid. Those were awesome. They were so much fun. My dad had 6 sisters. And so with all the cousins and all the aunts and uncles, we would probably have up to 50 people in a house. And it was just a ton of fun. Fond childhood memories of that. Frank Short, Merry Christmas to you and everybody. Frank, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated. Grace Lomas, you did the traditional turkey dinner. I was talking about how this was going to be cheese and crackers. So I picked up a wedge of blue cheese and I picked up a wedge of really sharp cheddar cheese and some peppered salami, got some crackers. And then yesterday when I left work, one of my bosses gave me a gift card for work and it was like a $15 gift card. And I go, walked back to the meat department and bought a nice, thick, beautiful ribeye, picked up some asparagus. So I'm actually going to probably shovel the snow off the barbecue when the live is over and go ahead and grill my Christmas dinner tonight. It'll be a ribeye steak on the Weber grill. Waiting on the new camo equipment before you can do real content. I use, and that's a good point. So I started doing everything with a cell phone, and cell phone cameras are phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But I quickly upgraded to a Canon T7i that does video and does pictures. Although some of my best pictures that I've ever taken are still with the cell phone. Then there's a huge learning curve when you get to a different camera. But you could do a YouTube channel with anything towards video. It's super, super simple to do. You just have to learn how that video works and then make it work for you. And it becomes basically your signature. I've got a bunch more camera equipment since then, and an upgraded phone and that kind of stuff. But yeah, you don't have to have all that by any means to do as much as you want on YouTube, to make quality videos. A lot of it too is just taking pictures again and again and again. And basically taking 25 minutes to film yourself doing a 5-minute project. Yeah, if you can do that, you're a master. Russell, Merry Christmas from Ontario, Canada. We scroll back up here again. Where was I? I got Frank. I got back down here after Jim. Okay, good. Thank you, Jim. Said hi to Russell. Angie, Merry Christmas to you. Just got your mom and dad's, but wanted to say hi. Thank you very much. Wish them a Merry Christmas from me in Alaska. They might get that. That'd be kind of cool. Oh, back down here again. Oh, it's only you're no audio on your end. You probably won't hear me say this then, but a lot of times if you leave and come back, a lot of those problems get fixed. So maybe somebody would type that in the chat. Let Uriel know to leave and then come back, and voila, the magic of YouTube sometimes works that way. Sunshine up in Anchorage with your son. Very cool. You're making turkey, roasted Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes, and homemade sourdough rolls. Oh, you're killing me here. That sounds delicious. Merry Christmas, Sunshine. Sunshine lives down here on the Kenai Peninsula. Actually lives over in the Kenai area. Jim, all alone and loving it, right? It is kind of nice. It is kind of nice. And I'm probably going to break out a beer or two during this. I might grab one here in a minute. My local brewery is awesome. I'll get into that in a second. I want to get caught up here. Where we at here? Alaska's Last Frontier Cabin. Merry Christmas. Are you at the cabin? Or are you in town? There's a ton of, I've got a ton of great YouTube channel friends on here. It's just nuts. It's a ton of fun. Canadian Jerry, Merry Christmas. You're at your nephew's dropping off gifts. Wanted to stop by and say ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas to you as well, Jerry. Thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated. Northern Girl Hobbies, glad you could make it. Merry Christmas. You just drove down Turnagain Arm and did some recording. The goats are all along the highway. Nice. That is such a beautiful sight. Is there ice on the sides of the rock walls on Turnagain Arm? Is it all built up yet? Because to me, that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, is the ice as it builds up on Turnagain Arm. You have eggnog and some rum for way later? Yeah, I did pick up a small thing of eggnog, and I've got some brandy, so I'll probably be doing some eggnog and brandy later on myself. Use 2 GoPros, Hero 3 cameras. I really want to get back to the camera equipment thing, talking again. I really want to pick up a GoPro. I've seen some things that I can do with a GoPro that I can't do with my T7i that would be a ton of fun to do. And it's a lot more, it would be a lot easier to record activities, physical doing thing activities with the GoPro than it is to, try and hold a cell phone steady, which I'm terrible at if you've seen any of my videos, or hold a camera steady. A GoPro is set up to record for activity, so it would be a ton of fun to use one. Fatman Prepper, my webcam is built in a 27-inch monitor. My phone cam lens is cracked. Just getting a couple of cheap Logitech webcams and a mic. Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go. You're having an open house for your kids and grandkids to drop by. Have some pie, little finger sandwiches, and gift exchanges. First Christmas since my wife passed away from cancer. Well, Jim, that's freaking awesome that you're getting together with all the family. And even though you're not doing the big thing, you're doing the thing, which is very, very, very much what I think the holiday's about. Oh, you're in town. Okay. That's Alaska's Last Frontier Cabin. Audio's working good for me. Leave, then come back for refresh. There we go. Yep. Sometimes that happens. And I've been on, and especially if you're using a phone to watch it, I watch a lot of live chats, obviously. And I've been in there and all of a sudden everything's cut out and gone blank on me. And I'm the only one. Leave, come back. Good to go. Refresh the screen, whatever you need to do. Do I have a chimney? Where does Santa come in? Well, I live in Alaska, and North Pole, Alaska is not far from where I live, Russell. I'm glad you asked this question. So when I lived in the Fairbanks / North Pole phone area, we'd have coffee and we'd discuss. Every once in a while, he'd ask me some questions about some of the kids, because I'm kind of a kid kind of guy. So we're close personal friends. So he doesn't need a chimney at my house. He has a key to the front door of the trailer, and he just comes in whenever. Last night he was busy, so he only stopped off for a minute. And I'll show you what he got me. He dropped this off. It was just incredible. Like I said, Santa and I are pretty tight. We've known each other for quite a few years. And Santa knows exactly what I like. So, yeah. He told me he knew it was a little cool in the trailer, and he wanted to give me something to keep me warm and help me thinking about him during the summer months. So, yeah. So no chimney. Santa's got a key. He comes in and helps himself. There's a lot of ice, and it's multicolor. Good. Alaska's last frontier cabin. I'll take some pictures. I'll take a drive up there myself then. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Because I'll post some pictures on the community tab, and then I'll include it in an upcoming video, because it's probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. The way that ice just builds up and pops, and the different rainbow colors. I have an older video where I first used the new camera that I have now, with pictures of that ice, and it's just phenomenal, the colors in it. You just checked, all the pizza places are closed until tomorrow, Lakeland Wayne. Even in Florida? Sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you. And you can't go to the grocery. Well, I don't know. Our grocery stores up here are all closed. So yeah, there's nothing open today except for, I think Walgreens is not the only thing that's actually open today, and a couple of gas stations / mini markets. Wayne Worrell, Merry Christmas to you. You're from near Raspberry Rock in Ontario, Canada, Wayne. Very, very cool. Close to Russell. I'm sorry about that, but glad to have you here. Merry Christmas. You need up there so you can a drinking partner. I drank a lot more in my younger days. I partied a lot more, not necessarily just drank a lot more, but I partied a lot more in my younger days. And now there's nothing I really enjoy more than, maybe a nice little aperitif, a nice little whiskey glass snifter of whiskey on an occasion, or brandy, or, it'll take me an hour to drink it. Sometimes I'll be reading a book and I'll just have it sitting right over here and just sip it as I read. Here, got Wayne. GoPro is wonderful for a walk and a talk, or just any video in motion. Russell, that's what I was thinking, because you use a GoPro on occasion. And then another guy that I watch has done some neat stuff with it. I'm going to have to draw a blank here. What the heck is the Outdoorsman is the name of his channel. And it's a young guy in Canada that is building a log cabin. Basically, with the only person helping him is his dad. And he's building it by hand. And on a couple of the things that he did with the GoPro was he mounted the GoPro up in a tree and had a camera recording him as he was starting to cut the tree down. And then as the tree snapped and started to come over, you got to watch the tree fall from the vantage point of the tree, basically in the GoPro. And it was cool. There's so many neat things you can do with one of those. I think that it would be a lot of fun with what I'm doing to have a camera like that. If you buy a GoPro, you have to get an iSteady Gamble. It's great for walking and recording. Okay, cool. Don't you know Santa can create a chimney if you don't have? Yeah, if you've seen, and he's got a great point there. If you've seen the movie The Santa Claus with Tim Allen, Santa can come down any vent in your roof, and it automatically becomes a chimney when he gets down. You have a GoPro, but your fingers too fat to hit the small buttons. Scott. Okay, now that you've said that, I don't have skinny fingers either, but you can actually tell the GoPro to record, and it will record. It will listen to voice commands, and I know this because I helped a friend set one up last year at Christmas. Pour a few fingers of that, yeah, right, Russell? Whiskey. So I'm Irish by heritage, I guess. My family came to the United States half the family came to the United States from Ireland, and the other half of the family came to the United States from Sicily. But I went to Ireland 2 years ago with my youngest brother, and we're the first men in our family to ever go back to Ireland since they came here. And we came to the United States in 1906. That's how the story goes. And while we were there, we went to we took the Irish train to Tullamore and went to the distillery for Tullamore Dew. and got to taste it. And I was always a Jameson's guy. My dad was a Bushmills whiskey guy. I was always a Jameson's Irish whiskey guy. But from my first sip of Tullamore, I've never had another whiskey again. And they had a single malt Irish whiskey that was so incredible. Whiskey, the Irish word for whiskey is Ishkavala, which translates almost directly to water, the water of life. And again, everything in moderation, right? Ward, Domino's opens tomorrow. Ward Adams, awesome. So whenever I need tools, and I've said this to Ward and I've said this to other people in the past, I do something really stupid construction-wise in my yard, because that guy right there, Ward Adams, will show up at my house the next day and say, "You idiot," and hand me a tool. Ward, Merry Christmas, man. I'm glad you can make it. Only thing open here is a few gas stations, right, Scotty? Yeah. Destiny, Merry Christmas. Glad you can make it. Also got some great underwater footage with your GoPro. That is crazy. That is neat. Caitlin Montano, Merry Christmas. Tell Joe I said Merry Christmas as well. We got happy birthday for Joe last week, and I sang to him. And this week, we'll just give him a Merry Christmas. Very cool. Did you guys all get what you wanted for Christmas? Well, let me go one step beyond that. What was the best gift that you got this year for Christmas? The one gift that you didn't really ask for, but somebody gave you, and you were so blown away because it was the perfect gift. Because I'm going to show you mine in a minute, that I kind of asked for, but I got it from someone I never expected to get a gift from. And I actually had to tell my daughters, don't buy this for me now because somebody gave it to me. But tell me the one gift that you got that blew your mind and you did not expect, and it turned out to be the best gift that you got this year. I would love to know that. Ray Martinez, happy holidays from the Florida Keys. Merry Christmas, Ray. Your mom gave you a breakfast sandwich maker? I always made fun of them. That's awesome. That is cool. Charles W., Merry Christmas, my friend. Merry Christmas in the Philippines. That was so, I hope, Kaylin, I really hope that Joe laughed when he heard that. I really do. Oh, guys. See now, Fat Man, I'm not going to say that. Merry Christmas, Brianne. Brianne Owens, my daughter, obviously. Glad you can make it, babe. I love you. You guys having fun? Kids all winding down and taking their naps now, I imagine. We'll video chat after, we'll do a group video chat after the live here this afternoon. I get caught up with the grandkids again and see how they're all doing. Destiny Fitzgerald. Oh, you thought the Raspberry Wax that he had got good underwear footage. Yeah, I don't think so. Your nieces and nephew, via your brother, gave you a $75 gift card to Bass Pro. Awesome. Yeah, not like that won't come in handy, huh? I swear, if I ever had an unlimited credit card and walked into either the Cabela's, Bass Pro, Sportsman's Warehouse, and I know they're all the same now, man, I would probably need a tractor trailer to get everything out of there that I wanted. Deborah Starling, Merry Christmas. Your greatest gift was an air fryer. Very awesome. Cool. The youngest just woke up. Got to put the oldest down for his nap. Awesome. Good. I'm glad you needed a good laugh. We all need good laughs, right? I mean, people need to laugh more. They really do. Perfect gift, I know, because I got it for myself. Oh, a Fro, perfect gift, you know, because you got it for yourself. Okay, I'll show you the gift that I got. And I've wanted this for a couple of years, and it's so cool. Oh. And it's not expensive. It's not fancy. So I have, one of the things about living off grid for me is I don't have an electric coffee maker. And I switched over to French press, and I make all my coffee in the French press every day. But I'm limited to what kind of coffee I can buy because I need a coarser ground coffee. And most of the commercial coffees that you'll see on the shelf are a finer grind than I want to use in the French press. I can use them, but you end up with real cloudy coffee when you're done. So I have wanted one of these hand coffee grinders so that I can start buying beans and the different kind of fancier beans to have different kinds of coffee on a regular basis. And I put this on an Amazon wish list that I have, and it's in my show notes, and I don't ever talk about it because I just throw stuff on there. And basically, when my kids say, "Dad, what do you want for Christmas?" I send them the wish list. I say, "Here it is. Go find out what." And I had a viewer send this to me, and I got it from the post office on Christmas Eve. Opened it up this morning, and am just completely and absolutely video because my actual Christmas morning will next week. But it's so neat because it's not glass, it's a sturdy, heavy plastic, acrylic, and the top opens right up. So after you grind your beans, pour it right in there, wipe it out. Come on. Close it back up again. It's got a nice sturdy, I'll have to hold on to it obviously when I crank it, but it's got a nice sturdy base and it's adjustable so I can get the perfect grind that I want for beans. And like I said, I got that from a viewer and it was completely surprised. Very, very cool. I'm going to buy some coffee beans tomorrow and give this thing a try out. And I can see myself becoming some kind of a knucklehead coffee guy now going forward. I'll be buying all kinds of different flavored beans and we'll get a chocolate roasted bean and a raspberry. It'll be ridiculous. Carnage. It'll be coffee carnage. Arnie Peterson, welcome. Glad you can make it. Merry Christmas. Lonesome Lenny, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for stopping by. Right? Cabin Dweller, Stacy, because I can't really use an electric grinder, I've been forced to not buy beans, and I've only been buying ground coffee, and now I can do whatever I want. The entire world of coffee is about to open up for me again. Brian says, Nick got me a heated foot massager for your workouts, but he's testing it out right now. Brian, did Nick get that for you, or did Nick get that for Nick? It's like, Brian, I got you the ultimate gift, a brand new fly rod. What? You don't fly fish, babe? I'll take it. Sorry, I'll try next year. Yeah, awesome coffee grinder. So nice to have a viewer send it. I was completely surprised and blown away by it. Charles, you've been looking for a coffee grinder? It's on Amazon. I took it off my wish list, but there's a ton of. At first, I was looking at all these antique ones, and they looked really beautiful, the old-fashioned kind with the box that opens up in the bottom and everything. But the more I looked at them, the cheaper they looked. And I thought, I don't want a replica. If I pick one of those up down the road as a real one, that would be nice. But that is a sturdy little grinder. That's gonna come in handy. I'm gonna love it. Uh-oh, I'm buffering. Can I do change in it? Or can I do chaga in it? I don't know, Russ. I'll have to give that a try. I will. I'll have to give that a try and see if I can do chaga, because that would be nice too. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to trying it because, like I said, it's pretty sturdy. I don't think I can break it. Kathy's Outdoor Adventures, Merry Christmas. Glad you could pop in. You got an awesome ultralight backpack. Very cool. Very cool. Kathy's Outdoor Adventures is actually a channel from the area that I kind of grew up in. And I found her channel because I was scrolling, you get the suggested videos from YouTube. And I looked and I go, I grew up on that lake. Wait a minute. And ended up finding her channel that way and started following her adventures. And she pretty much travels all up and down the beautiful countries of the Sierra Nevadas and the foothills of California. Beautiful, beautiful area. Oh, Fat Man. Yeah, also during the holidays, right? It's Christmas. Everybody's calling, everybody's video chatting, everybody's doing that. So I think this is one of the times it pays to not be in a populated area like me, because there's not a lot of people using the broadband, whereas in the cities, everybody's chit-chatting. Merry Christmas, Joe. Thank you very much. Glad you could pop in. Ashley wants me to know we're all watching, but she's working on dinner in the kitchen, so she can't talk. Okay, very cool. Tell Ashley I said I love her. Kiss my granddaughter for me. Does the coffee come out better in a French press? Never tried one. So I think it does. It takes no more time than a percolator. I mean, basically what you're doing is you're boiling water. You pour your coffee grounds right into the French press, pour your water on top of it, put the press on, put the press piece on top. I let it set for a couple of minutes, press it down, and I think it's the most delicious coffee I've ever had. It's better than anything I've ever had in a percolator. So that's that. Me personally, I love it. Nunya, Texas, on the back 20. Merry Christmas to you. Glad you can make it. Hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Hope you're still having a wonderful holiday. Just don't collect the beans on the ground. Makes terrible coffee. How long am I going to stream for today, Russell? I think I'm going to be here. I normally stream from 3 to 4 Alaska time, and I started today at 1. So I'm probably going to go for another 2.5 hours. I'm going to end at 4 like I normally do. And like I said, I don't expect everybody to hang out for that. Shoot, I mean, when you're live, I join you in the beginning, I join you in the middle, I join you at the end, but I don't really hang out that long. I know that you probably are sad and think that I do, but I appreciate anybody who can stay in for as long as they can stay. But I'll be here probably till 4 o'clock Alaska time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, Kathy, Alaska is beautiful. Oh, it's incredible. It makes Yosemite Park look like Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. It really does. It's so wild here. It's crazy. Ray Wood, Merry Christmas from Novato. Ray, glad you could stop by. Merry Christmas to you as well. Montana Homestead, hello and welcome. Merry Christmas. Your internet crapped out yesterday. Everyone's online. Midday yesterday. Yeah. Only way I get what I want is to get it myself. You got a semi-auto 12-gauge bullpup. Nice. Yeah, that's the nice thing, too, about getting older is, you can pick out that one gift that you want, and you can just buy it for yourself, and then everything else you get's a bonus that year, right? It's an awesome way to do it. You like your Folger, Scotty? Will's the same way. But I like a really, really dark roasted coffee. I'm a dark roast guy. And Folgers makes one brand of their coffee that's really dark roast, and it's their Noir. I'll show you what it looks like because I got the container. So this one right here, this Folger version, we had it on sale in the store for $4.99, so I bought like 4 of them. And that's a very good cup of dark roast coffee. But I like a good dark roast, and unfortunately, most commercial blends are not dark enough for me. Where are we at? Got Scotty. We'll keep the snow up here. Nancy Church, Merry Christmas. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in from St. Louis. Al Brown, Merry Christmas. Oh, no, Michelle and Tony in Toke, Merry Christmas. Were you guys that cold this morning? Because Toke gets bitter cold, folks. Glad you guys stopped by. Tina Bailey, Merry Christmas to you as well. I hope you and the family are having a wonderful, wonderful time. Oh, Mike and Terry, not Montana, but that's okay. I saw the MT and automatically thought it was a state abbreviation. Well, Mike and Terry, thanks for stopping by, and Merry Christmas to you as well as Montana. Yeah, right, Wayne? The dark roast, just because I drink my coffee just black. I don't put cream, I don't put sugar, I don't put anything in it. And I really love that flavor of a really dark roast coffee. And the darker the roast, the less caffeine. So I don't get real jittery and stuff from drinking a dark roasted black coffee. You like Folgers? You have to try that kind? Yeah, it was tasty. And the problem is I only saw it in the small cans, but like I said, the price was $4.99. So up here, if I can get a small container of coffee, I think it was 12 ounces for $4.99. That's a bargain because coffee prices are crazy now. You love dark roast coffee too. It was about 5 degrees above and blustery, and then we got up this morning. Beautiful, nice. Yeah, I think we're in a warming trend here in Alaska. I know my forecast for, all the way through to next Friday, which will be New Year's Eve, is above zero. There is not one day that I actually have forecasted below zero, which is very, very cool. And tomorrow, I think, is going to be the warmest day of all of that. So I had planned on getting out and about with the drone and with the camera gear tomorrow anyway, and just kind of get away from the property. I'll go do laundry, and when I'm done doing laundry, I'll just start up towards Cooper Landing and Ski Lac Lake and get back in there and see if I can't see some wild animals, maybe some wolves, some lynx, that kind of stuff up there. It'd be kind of fun. I agree. Black is how coffee is meant to be drank. Oh, there we go. Mike's originally from Montana, so I'm okay when I said Montana. We're highs in the Phoenix in the low 50s, low 60s. Thinking a lot of fire in the fireplace tonight for the low 60s. Wow. Yeah, Frank, we really, compared to 2 weeks ago where I was 30 below zero here, what a difference. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Yesterday, I got home from work. And of course, Sean being who he is and thinking, I got enough propane in there to last till I get home. In fact, Sean did not have enough propane to last until he got home. So when I walked in the trailer, outside was, I think, right around zero, and inside the trailer was 32. So by the time I got everything warmed up and I got done with the pizza with friends and got home last night, it was five above zero outside. And then when I woke up this morning, it was 15 above. So overnight, where the temperature normally dips, it started going up. It was beautiful. 80 today in Texas. Really? I don't know how you celebrate Christmas when it's 80 degrees. I just don't get that. I do not get that. 74 here today, 79 yesterday in Oklahoma. Ugh. I will say, Nunya, though, that we don't have the humidity that you have. So I'm happy for that. Because the most humid place I've ever lived in my life was Houston, Texas. And it was, I was wearing a suit and tie at the time for my job. And I would take two shirts to work with me, the one I was wearing and the one that I would change into at lunch. And every shirt at the cleaners had like double starch in them, because by lunchtime, the shirt that I was wearing the first half of the day was literally stuck to me. And then I'd change into a fresh shirt after at lunchtime, just so I wouldn't have that sticky feeling all day long. No sound? Ray? Anybody else? Charles W., me too. Black coffee for you. Finally found a coffee maker a few months ago. They're like, no more instant coffee. Very cool. Okay, you hear me? Very cool. Ray probably needs to either refresh or exit and come back in again to get the sound to come back. Rebel Canners, Merry Christmas. Glad you could make it. Can you hear me just fine at your end? Very good. Thank you, Destiny. 84, Charles. Yeah, but again, right? You're in the Philippines and the humidity has got to be horrific. You're on an island, man. Oh, you got a house in Houston. Nice. Instant coffee in the morning takes too long to brew, and you need the coffee 5 minutes before you actually get out of bed. So, Fat Man, honestly, with the coffee, once I bring the water to a boil, I'm drinking coffee in 5 minutes. So, and my stove's propane, so I boil it pretty quick. Sweating in the shower. Yep. You have sound? Good. Volume's fine there. Good. 5x5. Cool. Sound good to me here in Florida. Every once in a while I buffer, but nothing major. Okay. You can hear me just fine, Nick? Thank you. After Empire is my daughter's other house. Thank you very much for stopping in. And those two have the most beautiful children I've ever seen in my life, except for her sister, who also has the third most beautiful child I've ever seen in my life. I could be biased, though. I don't know. I could be biased. DJ and I use a French press while hunting. Yeah, see? Right, Russell? Or Russell. Right, Ward? And that's the nice thing about them, too, is you can take them anywhere. Mine I'd have to be careful with because it is glass, but you can buy metal ones. You could be out camping. And to me, I'll drink instant coffee if that's the only coffee I have. But if I have a French press, it's so much better because I can have real, honest-to-goodness coffee no matter where I'm at, no matter when. It's just fantastic. It's going down here to Ward. Well, cool. I'm all caught up. So we talked about gifts. We talked about weather, obviously. How about your guys' favorite Christmas song? What is the one song at Christmas time that you just absolutely love? Your favorite Christmas song. And then I'll tell you what my grandfather's favorite Christmas song was, Salvador Giuseppe Battaglia. I'll tell you what his favorite Christmas song was after you guys tell me what your favorite Christmas song is. And there's my other daughter, Ashley. So first, I'm not good enough to be on your union benefits. And now my child is the third most beautiful. Ashley, really? Of all of my grandchildren, who do you think I will spoil the most? Rose Lee. You know that. All of my grandchildren are absolutely beautiful. You find that disrespectful? Little Drum from SC. Do you like the original one, or do you like the version with Bing Crosby and David Bowie? Because that version is phenomenal to me. Murray, did you know that's a beautiful tune? That is a beautiful tune. Baby, It's Cold Outside. I love that song too. Sounded like an Italian name? Yeah, no, Sicilian, not Italian. My family was from Sicily, not Italy. Palermo, Sicily, actually, on mom's side. Oh Holy Night, another beautiful song. So miss it. What you got on Christmas? Oh, you missed what I got on Christmas, Ray? I got a beautiful coffee grinder from a viewer. One of those hand-turned coffee grinders, which is something I have wanted for years. I've really wanted it since I moved out here, but I've wanted one for years now. White Christmas by Bing Crosby or Rudolph by Burl Ives. I like Gene Autry's Rudolph, and I like Holly Jolly Christmas by Burl Ives. I like Christmas music, obviously. Michael Bublé is beginning to look a lot like Christmas. He is, of all of the newer artists, probably the best for any Christmas songs. He sings Christmas classic songs like he was singing with Bing Crosby and those guys. Just he does a fantastic job. You like Silent Night? Very cool. One of my favorite things to hear is Silent Night in Irish. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. Beautiful version in Irish. And then in Welsh, the song Hallelujah by Briggan is just incredible. And Briggan is Brygn. So if you look up Brygn, Hallelujah, you will hear the most beautiful version of that song you've ever heard in the Welsh language. Just gorgeous. Oh, your grandfather was from Southern Italy. Awesome. So my grandfather, Salvador Giuseppe Battaglia, his favorite Christmas song was Christmas Don't. And every time I hear that song, I think of my grandfather. It's just awesome. I lost him when I was, it's maybe 10 years old. It was probably around 9 or 10 years old when he passed away. But yeah, that song is by far my grandfather's favorite. And to this day, when I hear it, it's just awesome. Yeah, Judy Garland's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is another beautiful song. Another beautiful song. I can listen to Christmas music in the middle of summer, especially when it's hot, because then it always seems to cool me down. Terry, hello. Glad you can make it. Merry Christmas. Silent Night, we sang it in high school, swing choir. However, you sang it in German. Nice. We had when I was a kid growing up, and I know it's different now. This mustache is just driving my nose nuts. But we went through during the Christmas season, we all had these Christmas music playlists, and we'd all learn how to sing all these songs. So we learned "Oh Christmas Tree" in German. We learned like 5 different songs in different nationalities' languages, which was really, really cool. And I don't even know if they do that anymore in school. Matter of fact, I don't even know if they promote Christmas in school anymore. Couldn't tell you, because my kids, my oldest who's in here now, she's 30. And, her sister, and you're going to kill me even now again, Ashley, is 27. I think she's 27. So, yeah. I don't remember. I know they had Christmas programs back then, but I don't know what they have now. Can I listen to more Christmas music outside December, Stacy? living in Alaska, you don't have to worry about getting too hot anymore. Well, that's not true either, Fat Man, because during the summer, we can hit 90 degrees and have hit on a regular basis the mid 80s here. And when it's the mid 80s here, after going through, say, 25 and 30 below zero in the winter, it's brutal. Your body's like, no, I'm dying. It would be like, if you were 120 degrees Fahrenheit there, your body would be like, well, okay, maybe 100 we're okay, maybe 105 we're okay, but this is ridiculous. So for me, 75, probably still okay. Anything over 80 and I'm dying. Big Bear Prepper, welcome. Merry Christmas. Hope you had a fantastic one. Thank you for joining me today. Oh, Tannenbaum, yep. Rebel Canners, oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Tannenbaum. And I forget the rest of the words. I could probably sing along with it. If I heard a chorus or two, I would get right back into it, I'm sure. Southern Italy is beautiful. That's destiny that my brother and I had said our next trip that we were going to take was going to be probably to Sicily. We wanted to rent a little villa and go stay in Italy and not rent a car or anything and just walk up and down the streets and eat the food and drink the wine. Right, Stacy? Stacy's in the Yukon territory, so she could agree with me. Anything over 70, and we're like, this is all wasted temperature. You could take whatever goes over 70, and we'll just apply that to January and February, please. Thank you. You're 63. You're 63 and graduated 17 years old, long time ago. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I graduated in the class of 1980. Can't listen to December either. You carry a rock in your pocket in November to throw at people singing Christmas tunes. Your Jingle Bell Rock. I put those, I obviously love Christmas music, and I put a bunch of podcasts together, and there's links on my past videos and over at the Facebook page for Sean in Alaska. And I've released them all now, but I take them down usually January 1st. They're done for the year. I think next year, though, it would be fun to create one that was an all request from people who watch the YouTube channel Sean in Alaska. So I'll probably do that next year, and I'll probably start talking about that in October so that I can get some audio requests too in there, which would be fun to do. And then the platform that I use to stream those is free, doesn't cost anybody anything. You can listen, but more importantly, you could download it and you can save it yourself and then have it for the future, which is I think very cool. I just got a thing saying they're having trouble loading my feed. Okay, it's back now. Karen, Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me on this Christmas day. I hope yours was wonderful. Your son was born in 80? My first child was born in 1991, and that seems like a long time ago. I am going to grab myself a quick pint of the most incredible beer that our local brewery makes. And it quickly became my favorite last year. I should probably pop a hat on this bald head. It quickly became my favorite last year when I was pouring it at the, was it last year? No, 2 years ago. I was pouring it at the Anchorage Beer and Barley Wine Festival. And it's called, it's from Kenai River Brewing, and it's the Black IPA. So it's a dark beer that is kind of patterned after an IPA, but does not have any of the IPA bitterness. And it is a beautiful, malty can of goodness. And I knew they were brewing another batch, and I was really badgering one of the brewers there, and she snuck me out a taste of it last week. And when I was in the brewery yesterday, because I go in there every Christmas Eve and have a cocktail with everybody, the owner, Doug, grabbed me and said, "You leaving?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, here, come with me." And he walked me back through the brewery and grabbed me a 6-pack of this before it was even available to sell. So, Doug, Merry Christmas, and thank you very much for an incredible, incredible beer. Oh, it's like candy in my mouth. I love that stuff. Sorry to say, if it gets below 75, you're putting on the Long Johns. You know what? I actually have long johns, and I have worn them a couple of times this year because it's just been way too chilly. Leslie, you're not old or young, but well, exactly, right? I'm not old. I'm just well seasoned. It's not the years anyway. It's the mileage, right? Oh, you're drinking a screwdriver, Karen? Cheers, huh? You just cracked open a Hefeweizen? Very cool. See, I don't know. It's something about Christmas and a cocktail. Um, Favorite Christmas drink. So if you had to pick one drink, and it doesn't have to be alcoholic, for Christmas, what would yours be? Mine would probably be, it would probably depend on if I'm having the full meal, then my drink of choice would be a nice glass of, say, either a big Zinfandel or a Petite Sirah, a nice big glass of red wine. But if it's just a casual Christmas where, like today, I'm just kind of munching as we're chatting, then it's an ice cold beer. So what would your favorite Christmas drink be for the season? You must have a lot of miles, Charles. You got a Ben's beer? Awesome. Ben is one of the brewers at the Kenai River Brewing Company, and we call it Ben's beer, but it's called a trout, and it's just delicious. We all call it Ben's beer, though. Julie, Merry Christmas. Glad you could make it. Merry Christmas. Leslie, a wassail. Nice. Very cool. Good micro, red, or brown ale. I do like brown ales. And reds are, for me, I guess, growing up, my whole thought of reds was Killian's Irish red. And while I've had a lot of different micro reds, their flavor's really mild for me. And just like coffee, I like a lot of oomph in my beer. I like a lot of flavor. A good brown ale, though, like a Newcastle on draft. Oh, that's a delicious beer. Kicking it with Harold, friends. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today, and Merry Christmas to you. Also a good taste in beer. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but obviously the generator's running. I did get that problem solved. I got, in tomorrow's video, I got the generator problem solved. I got the door problem solved. That was pretty much it. The two biggest problems that were affecting me, the door that wouldn't close when it was 30 below zero, and the generator that wouldn't fire up to charge my batteries. I got both of those taken care of this last week, which was just awesome. Screwdriver for you, awesome. My mom likes vodka tonics. That's her preferred cocktail of choice. Unless the brothers are all there and we're drinking wine, then just put the wine glass in front of mom and don't stop. Right? Yeah. I was just talking to Stacy about this the other day, and if you guys don't follow Stacy, do me a favor and share your link for your channel too. If you don't follow Stacy, you need to. It's pretty funny because it seems like I'll be fighting something one week, and the next week she's fighting that or something else, and the week after that I'm fighting that or something else. But it's so funny because, and I gotta think a lot of it is because we're both kind of in the woods, and B, we both deal with the same trouble with cold that most people don't have to deal with it. It just seems like after the although she gets more than I do, trust me, she gets colder and stays colder longer. But the more the cold is protracted, the more everything starts to break, and it's just frustrating. And I was laughing on her live the other night, her Solstice live that she did, that it just seems like if I'm having a good week, her week's going down the crapper, and if she's having a good week, my week's going down the trash. That's the other thing that happened last week. On the 21st, we had the winter solstice, which is the longest night / shortest day of the year here in Alaska. And for right where I'm located, it was about just under 6 hours of daylight. And from that point forward, the days start getting longer again. So we're heading back into summer already. And I'm not even going to think about January and February temperatures. All I'm thinking about is the days are getting longer. Alcohol abuse. Vodka tonics are your favorite too, Deborah? Yeah. Yeah. So the generator issue, and I got to thinking about this the other day when I got it working and I got everything topped off and batteries and everything else. On this little nightstand right here, I have an oil lamp, right? And I've been using that more and more during the winter, mainly because I really love the feeling you get when you have one of those lit and when that is your light. And I've got another one too. And that's all I used in the trailer for the first week or two that I was here on the property. And one thing I noticed was as I got all the issues ironed out with the generator and I got the power back up, like I said, I got everything topped off. When I came in that night, I didn't turn on the lights. I lit the kerosene lamp. And I thought to myself, I've become more dependent on electricity, on power generation, not necessarily electricity, but on power generation than I really wanted to be. And the eventual goal is to have the place totally powered by solar panels with the generator as the backup to top off the panels during the winter. But even then, I started thinking again that I might need to start tweaking some of my lifestyle to back away from the electrical use again. There's nothing I can do about the electrical use for the laptop, to charge up the batteries for my camera gear and stuff like that, to keep the cell phone charged up. But I've been burning more electricity than I need to. And so I'm really going to evaluate that going into next year to try and reduce that footprint. When I get to summer again, obviously I'm going to use a ton more power when I hit spring because I'll be running a lot more power tools and stuff as I start to build the cabin. But for now, I need to back it off. And it's funny how easy it was to turn everything off when I moved onto this property. And then how difficult it started to feel as I didn't have the generator to run for that 1 week that it was down and giving me issues. It was just night and day. It was really easy to fall off of the electrical, grid. And it became difficult when I didn't have the little bit of power that I had started to become dependent upon again. It's funny how quickly you can adjust your mindset with stuff like that. Yeah, Terry. So Terry has a point of it's probably going to take more panels and batteries than I think. Yes and no. If I wanted to power the place year round with panels, then it would take a lot more panels than I'm planning on. But during the summer, I have more electricity than I could use. And what I'm designing for the inside of the house is actually super energy efficient, low voltage LED lighting. And not a whole bunch of it. And none of my appliances will be electric. All of my appliances will be propane. So I'm going to pay for the power, the BTUs on the propane side, as opposed to paying for the BTUs on the electrical side. And I won't need, mind you, that I run everything I have right now off of one 12-volt deep cycle marine battery. So, and that was kind of an amazing thing to see how much of a charge, and I won't tell you how much, but how much of a charge was left in that battery after 1 week of running LED strip lights in here without being able to charge the system back up again. It was really amazing to me. So I'm putting a lot of thought into all of the power requirements that are going to be required or that I'm going to need. And I really want to spend the money to buy good lithium iron phosphate batteries that I can take below that 50% state of charge without damaging. But we'll have to see how long, we'll have to see how much it'll cost me and whether or not I can afford it when I get ready to do that. I might have to go with something preliminary to begin with. Merry Christmas to Wide Family Farms. Courtney, thank you for stopping in. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Stay away from alcohol, at least still get AC1 levels. Yeah. Good points, Fat Man. My buddy I call Brother Will had the onset of diabetes, and he's my age, so almost 60. And he doesn't drink that much. He drinks 1 day a week. And when he told his doctor said, look, he goes, if you're just having cocktails, say once a week, and you're not overdoing it, you're not getting yourself to the point of being, basically inebriated. And you know what? That's probably more beneficial than the detriment of what it will do to his diabetes. But yeah, when that's a weird disease that when you get, it's tough to change your lifestyle to get it to fit into there, from what I know. David Evans, Merry Christmas. Glad you could make it. Yeah, power issues are I could live 100% off the grid. I could live 100% without power, but I don't want to. I don't need to, and I couldn't do what I'm doing if I didn't have the power to do it. I mean, Dick Proenneke did it, right? Alone in the Wilderness, but then everything that he filmed with his camera, he sent back in with Bob Swearer, and Bob did all the editing and all the stuff backstage. Matter of fact, the voice that you hear is Bob's. It's not even Dick Proenneke's. But I don't want to live like that. I really don't. I want a nice home when I'm done, with a beautiful kitchen, with a huge counter, with a nice pantry. I want to be able to enjoy some of the modern conveniences, but I want to enjoy them as self-sufficiently as possible, if that makes any sense. Patrick Allison, Merry Christmas, my friend. Good to see you. Glad you could pop in. I shared this link on my personal Facebook page too before I started the video, so hopefully I'll get some folks to jump in and say hi. Mike McKinley, welcome. Merry Christmas. I saw your comment this morning. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you found me. Awesome to have you here. We're also shut off. Nice right there, huh? And I don't have, I have an inverter, but I don't run anything off of my batteries right now except for the lighting. That's all I run off of it. I have a 400 watt full sine wave power inverter, and it will cut out when the batteries get to a certain level as well. But that is a whole nother step to what I'm going to need to learn from what I do now. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, I could wire a house in a day. No problem at all, right? I could wire lights. I could wire everything else. I don't know how to hook those up to a box to make them work, but I could run the wires. So that's going to be a whole nother learning curve for me, where you might actually see Sean get electrocuted. Meanwhile, any electric utensils that can be bought and run from DC power are best when using batteries. AC amps and DC amps are different. Right. Yeah, exactly, Terry. Exactly. But again, I would like to have a mixer. That would be, again, down the road. That's one of my last things in a kitchen that I would need to, because I like to bake, right? I grew up in a bakery. So a mixer would be nice, but I can't really think of too many other things that I feel I would need as far as electrical appliance goes. I can mix anything with a whip that you can mix with beaters, and I can do it pretty quick because I was trained to do it my whole life. What else? A toaster. I've gotten so used to just taking my toast and throwing it in the frying pan and toasting it in a cast iron skillet now that, I don't even know what it'd be like to have toast from a toaster anymore. So, electrical appliances in the kitchen are not going to be a big issue for me. I'm looking at a couple of appliance brands. One that I'm looking at specifically is the Unique brand of appliances that operate either off of solar electric or propane. They have different models, but they draw so little in watts that I really think that's probably the direction I'm going to go. If I want to go over the solar, learn a lot from DIY. So I watch his channel as well, Frank, and a ton from him. But my biggest problem with him is he's too smart. And he comes across sometimes when I'm watching his videos as we should understand what he's saying. And unfortunately, he is here and I am here. And there's a lot of stuff that goes right over my head with him. But I have his RV book, and I've learned a lot about solar from him. Got to dig your underground bunker to store all that electricity you make during the summer. Yeah, right? If I could just get a giant battery, Tesla battery or something into the ground. Making the power is not the problem. Storing the power is the big issue, to use it later. Like I said, during the summer, when you've got 20 hours of sunlight, of usable sunlight for solar panels, you're never going to have a problem. I could run everything off of, two 12-volt deep cycle marine car batteries and never have those batteries go down. Where I'm going to have the problem is in the winter, and I know that, especially this time of year when, the sun is so low on the horizon, and getting the panels on top of the roof will make a big difference because I'll be above the trees. But when the sun is so low on the horizon, and when your actual sun hours might be 3 a day, is when you're going to run into problems. And that's why I got the generator I did with the remote start, and it's got a setup that will connect it to the inverter so that when it gets low, the inverter will tell it to start and fire up when it's not getting enough power in. So that's kind of the systems I'm looking at. Son's living off grid. He's planning to build a cabin this summer. He's in a trailer right now. He has propane, right, Leslie? So he's doing the same thing I'm doing. And propane is awesome. I love the way that propane cooks my food. More so than natural gas, more so than electric. I really love cooking with propane. The stove or the refrigerator works with propane in the summer. And then during the winter, it works with water jugs. So I have the 4-gallon bottles, and I have 2 outside freezing solid, and I have 2 that are frozen on the top shelf in the refrigerator. And when those thaw out, I swap them, put the other ones in there. And about the time that they won't freeze solid anymore outside is when the temperature is warm enough for me to fire up the propane refrigerator again, and the refrigerator freezer works well for freezing. Electrical panels so easy. I think you showed all your. Okay, I'm going to check out your drops. I'll check out your video, definitely. Yeah, that's the other thing. My charge controller for this is not an MPPT. It's I forget what the other name is, but it's the wrong version. But it's the right version for the low voltage that I'm actually doing. For the single panel. So this one's not very efficient. An MPPT controller is a lot more efficient than what I've got. So I think I'm probably going to upgrade that in the spring, no matter what. Anyway, I could pick one up for under $100 and it'd be well worth it. Thank you, Stacy. Hit that like button for me. Much appreciated. Like button gets it out to other people, and then it may show people, hey, you might be interested in this idiot in Alaska. To a food joint near you, fried shaman in Alaska. Oh, you hooked up the whole system? That's right, you did hook up a whole system in your cabin. I'm gonna have to dig much deeper on YouTube and some of my YouTube friends that have done this before I get into it, because Lord knows I'm gonna make enough mistakes anyway. I might as well make informed mistakes, right? Lori Williamson, Merry Christmas. Thanks for stopping by. Susan Cooksey, Merry Christmas to you. Flying home to Alaska today, very, very awesome. I was going to give you a call, and I'm like, is she traveling today or not? But Merry Christmas, Susan. I hope you had a wonderful one with your folks, and I hope your daughter is having a wonderful one as well with your grandkids. What about a wind generator? So I do get a breeze every night during the summer. I don't necessarily get that breeze during the winter, and I don't know how tall that tower would be, but I would not be opposed to putting in a small wind turbine and seeing if that would work. In Kenai, they have a lot more regular wind. If I had property out that way, I could probably power 100% with wind. But out here, we don't have a consistent flow year round. But mainly during the summer and the fall, we get good wind. So I'm not opposed to putting something in like that and trying it down the road. Doesn't matter where you live. The max for solar charging in a house is 6, no matter where you live. Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that, Drop. I didn't know that. I thought that it was so many, I guess, so many hours that you had to have as a minimum to get a solar charge, but I thought it was just a benefit if you went over that. But if 6 is the limit, see, I have so much more to learn. Charles, you've always wanted to live in Alaska? So did I, so I did. Lucas, no idea what you're talking about, man. PWM charger. That's what I got. Yeah, the PWM charge controller as opposed to the MPPT. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I will. I definitely will come up and check out your place. I think I'm going to take a week's vacation and basically just drive around to fellow YouTubers up here because I've got a ton of people that I really need to meet and see and see what they're doing. I think that would be a ton of fun to put together a video of basically other people doing the thing that they do up here. I would love to also run into Eric and Ariel from Simple Living Alaska fishing. So I'm going to try and make it a point when the fish run in certain areas where I know they're going fishing to try and be there on those weekends that they go down to maybe hook up with them, because it'd be a ton of fun to meet them. They are super, super nice people. From the point of view of every time I've asked them a question or left them a comment, they've been more than kind and gotten right back to me, which is super, super nice. I used to live in a mobile home in Northern Ontario at -20 near Sudbury using propane. It was very nice but costly. Yeah, that's the other question I get a lot too, is how much does it cost me to run propane? Right now, propane up here, it was $3.99. It dropped to $3.59 a gallon. And I'll fill up. Matter of fact, I got to go to town tomorrow and fill up 2 tanks, and it'll last me for most of the week. So it'll cost me about $30, anywhere from $30 to $45 a week for heat. So basically, that's anywhere from what, $120 to $180 a month to heat the place, and I'm only doing that for 6 months out of the year. So then it drops the price down to $90 a month for propane and heat, because the 2 tanks that I have under the front that run the stove and the refrigerator, I'll run those for 4 months or 5 months before I have to worry about filling one of those up. So it is more expensive, but it's right now heat, as opposed to, say an electric heater, which you can't run anyway, or a wood stove where you got to wait for the stove and everything to heat up. And it's very mobile and very easy for me to do. I don't have to do anything extra to have it. Let's see, your son started with a wind generator. He has too many tall trees around him. No luck with that. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is if I'm going to do a wind generator, I'm going to have to go with a pretty tall mast to get it above the trees that I have here. That'll help me with my build this summer also. Awesome. Take all the help I can get. Mitchell's in Alaska. I think they were here last week. And I've checked out a couple of their videos. So I need to learn more about them. And I would love to meet them. You worked in electrical engineering for 14 years in R&D. You know a lot about power supplies. Nice. Drops, I'm going to pick your brain. You just ruined it, man. I'm just going to pick your brain till there's nothing left to pick. What'd you guys all have for dinner tonight anyway? If you've already eaten, what did you have for your Christmas dinner? Because generally speaking, what I do is prime rib. When I'm cooking for family, I cook the most delicious prime rib you'll ever have in your life. I usually do that with, obviously, asparagus as a traditional side dish for prime rib dinners. And I'll do roasted rosemary, red potatoes, and shallots to die for. Oh, just delicious, delicious. Did military and commercial engineering jobs, worked in aerospace, medical. Holy smokes, Drops. I didn't realize you were so on top of it and educated in that stuff. That is awesome. Michigan Daffodil, Merry Christmas. How much did you miss? You missed 1 hour and 13 minutes and 50 seconds. But that's okay, because I'm going to be on until 4 o'clock today. Even if I only end up with a couple of people in here, I said I was going to go on longer today for Christmas. And like I said before, I wanted anybody who was sitting at home and maybe lonely on Christmas Day and wanted to hang out with some people to have a place to go and hang out. So that's why I'm here right now. That, and because you guys are awesome, right? You're a ton of fun. After on, company's coming. Have a great day. And I Stacy, Merry Christmas to you. And I definitely expect to see noodles in your video so I can see if they came out. Have a great time with your friend Stacy. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks for joining me. Shawty Shave, welcome. Glazed ham twice, baked potatoes, stuffing, yum. Oh, that sounds good. Merry Christmas to you, Shawnee. Drops is cooking sirloin and shrimp with red potatoes, right? Very good. Christmas dinner here was clams, pancit, rice, and pork. Yum. Yum. Turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, green beans casserole, sweet potato stuffing, and pumpkin pie for Deborah Starling. Yummy. Sounds good. Your video is buffering, so you don't know what you're missing. Uh-oh. You can watch it later. You're not missing much. If I can find a cheap enough camper trailer yet this winter, I can always head up there earlier than planned to help you develop the property, right? Leslie A., soup? What kind of soup? Tell me what kind of soup, Leslie. a big traditional dish where I grew up in California was cioppino, which is a West Coast Italian kind of dish of basically a fish stew with a red sauce that's just delicious. It was a big thing on Christmas Eve. JD from SC, Rhonda fixed ham, turkey, tater salad, green beans, mac and cheese, candied yams, deviled eggs, and pecan pie. Oh, nice. Nice. Michigan Daffodil, leftover mashed potatoes, ham, and blueberry pie. Tomorrow's our family Christmas. Paramedic hubby is working today. Awesome. I did that for years when Christmas fell on a work day back in the days when I owned my bakery / restaurant and donut shop. We would celebrate Christmas a lot of times either the day of or the day after, depending on where it fell on the calendar. Oh, okay. So, yeah, you missed that part. So Mitchell's in Alaska, I think, was here last week during the live chatting. They are subscribed, comments on my videos. So I went over and checked out a couple of their videos, and I need to find out more about them. I don't know much yet, but what I've seen so far, I really liked. So, yeah, there's so many people up here that are doing so many neat things on YouTube that I probably could fill a month just going and visiting all these people. Morgan was in here earlier from another life off grid, and I would really like to hook up with Morgan. He's got property up by Glen Allen, and I'd really like to hook up with him on his property and fall some trees, help him run his mill a little bit, learn a little bit from him. Both of us wear kilts, so Morgan wears the more traditional version than I do. I wear the utility kilt. But yeah, there's so many people up here that I want to meet. It's crazy. They're in Willow also. Your new property's in Willow. When I first moved up here, one of the places I really, this was back in 1998 when was Willow. The main chat program I used way back then was Pal Talk, and I belonged to an Alaskan group in Pal Talk even before I ever moved up here. And I met a bunch of different people that lived all over the state through that little chat thing, and they were like chat rooms. It was MIRC. It wasn't Pal Talk. It was MIRC, Internet Relay Chat, and it was just so fun finding out about the different areas. In Willow, when I finally moved up here, I went to families that I chatted with on MIRC, and Willow's beautiful. God, Willow is gorgeous. That area is just phenomenally pretty. The Mindful Homestead, Merry Christmas, and thank you for stopping by. I hope you had a wonderful day today, and I hope the rest of your day is incredible as well. Leslie A., a homemade turkey soup with a lot of your garden veggies and pumpkin pie with whipped cream. Nice. Nice. I'm not a pumpkin pie guy. I can have pumpkin pie once a year, and I'm good to go. My favorite pie is cherry pie. I love cherry pie, and a good Marionberry pie or boysenberry pie. Oh, delicious. Where are we at here? Got that. Pal Talk. Your mom used to mod for several channels in there? Yeah, so I was on Pal Talk for a long time, and I was on MIRC for a long time, Internet Relay Chat. And I love them because they were great. They were a ton of fun. And you had to have personality to be in those, so you really had to I've always been a ham, obviously. You had to put yourself out there to get something back and enjoy yourself on it. And some of the chat rooms that I used to go into were just a blast, just a ton of fun with the characters that would pop into there. Tomorrow will be barbecue smokies, meat and cheese tray, buffalo chicken dip, caramel bars, snacky day. Nice. Yummy, yummy, yum, yum. Yeah, right. Mindful Homestead, IRC chat was great back in the day. I don't even know if it's still, I'm sure it still exists, but I don't even know what kind of people would be on there today. Maybe we could start an old channel. Turkey, ham, rice dressing, candied yams, potato salad, roast, dinner rolls, coleslaw, yum. Drops preps. Wiring an electrical panel starts at $13.10 on your MPP solar. All-in-one solar system installation and setup video. done commercial wiring also with the International Brother of Electrical Workers. So very cool. You know what then drops? I know what I'm watching later on tonight before I go to bed. I'm going to watch that video. Let me do this so I remember. And I'm going to make you a moderator, Drops. Go ahead and drop the link for that solar video for me. And then I can come back here and I can just click on the link. And anybody else that's in the chat that may be interested in check it out as well. So please drop your channel link and we'll drop that video link and feel free to drop your channel link. And any moderators that are in here right now, feel free to drop your channel links. As always, if you're interested in what some of these channels might be about, check them out. You're not obligated to subscribe to anybody, including myself. But if they, have value to you and you think they'd be neat to watch, then by all means, check them out, subscribe to them, hit their notification bell, and make sure you watch a video or it won't stick and they won't get the subscriber. Sean, a ham? Nah. To be or not to be? That is the question. Difficult it would be just to sit here for this long. So I'm going to stand up. Last year when I did my worst video I've ever done in my life, which was the first video of the year for me for last year. One of the lines that I made in that video was, basically the law of perpetual motion, right? An object at rest will want to remain at rest, and an object in motion will want to remain in motion. But when I'm at rest, man, it hurts. And then when I'm at motion, I don't want to stop. So need to make ham and bean soup. I've got some ham shanks out in the freeze, and I've got some red beans, and I'm thinking that that's going to be my New Year's Day dinner. I think I'm going to do some ham hock and beans and make some cornbread and probably share that with you guys because I'll be live New Year's Day as well. I'm going to be moderating on a channel live on New Year's Eve. Some friends of mine that are just awesome people. MBF Off Grid. And Jeremy and Ashley built their first place. Jeremy was discharged from the Army in Canada, and they built their first place off grid by hand. And Jeremy had some framing experience, but between the two of them, they just totally green at it. And since then, they've sold that place. They bought a farmhouse and another big piece of property. And right now they're in the process of building another house by hand. And they're just a hoot to watch. They're super, super nice people. And they'll be live on New Year's Eve. So I'll be moderating for them on New Year's Eve. And then I'm going to be live New Year's Day. So I'll do a ham hock and beans and cornbread for New Year's Day. Start the new year off with beans. I like it. You did a prime rib, roasted potatoes from our crop this year. Green beans with toasted pine nuts. That sounds yummy. And shiitake mushrooms sauteed with white wine. Oh. See, you can be in a homestead. You can be living off grid. You can always eat good if you want to. I mean, I cook some stuff on this stove that my kids on occasion will say, Dad, how did you do that? If you want to cook good, you can eat good no matter where you live. Okay, cool. So that's the link. Drops just put the link in there for his video on solar, and I'm going to watch that myself later on tonight. So if you're interested in the discussion we were having on that, by all means, check that out and check out Drops' channel as well. Hopefully he'll drop the link for his channel. Don't worry about views, but you explain wire sizing. Oh, good. So wire sizing is not, and right? Necessity is the mother of invention. Okay, we've talked about all the meals and your favorite libation or beverage, alcoholic or not, doesn't make any difference. What is your single one favorite thing to make for the holidays? Is it a cookie, and what type of cookie? Is it a quick bread like banana bread or something like that? And your favorite one to do? Give me one thing that you love to make every year for the holidays. And it's like you think to yourself, Christmas is coming. I have to make this. For me, when I was with the family and the kids and everybody down in California, every year after Thanksgiving, for Christmas, I would bake gingerbread houses by hand so that the kids could decorate homemade, handmade gingerbread houses every year. So what's your one thing, your one holiday tradition that you say, oh my gosh, it's almost Christmas, I have to make this? What is that? Shawnee Shave, fudge. Awesome. Awesome. Charles W., apple pie. I love a good apple pie. I love a good apple pie. Shawnee, on your fudge, what kind of fudge do you make? Just chocolate fudge, or is it a special fudge? Drops does Divinity. God, Divinity's good. Another good reason for Christmas, besides the music for me, is all of the awesome treats that come with it. You don't have a routine like that, but you do love pumpkin sugar cookies. That sounds good. That sounds very good. I do like pumpkin much better in other things than I generally like it in the pie. So like where I'll only eat like one slice of pumpkin pie pretty much a year, I will eat pumpkin everything besides that. Whiskey Harbor, Merry Christmas. I don't think I said hello to you yet. Welcome. And I'll be using a wood stove as well. Once I get into the cabin, most definitely it'll be wood stove will be the primary heat source, and the backup will be propane. This is the zucchini pumpkin bread. Now gluten-free. Nice. Nice. It's a chocolate fudge. You melt marshmallows in it, and you can't see them. Okay, very cool. I'm kind of a traditionalist with fudge. I do like a little piece here and there of the exotic ones. You know, you'll find somebody made a lemon meringue one and somebody made, you know, an apple caramel one. But chocolate fudge is by far my favorite. Used to be cheese ball, but gluten-free crackers that hold up are hard to find. They are. They are. Leftover Chinese food. Whiskey Harbor, do you follow that up with singing fa ra 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 ra? Yeah, you would love to cook moose, but since you haven't gotten one yet, I've never gone hunting in Alaska since I've been here. I fished before I moved up. I bought a beautiful 300 Win Mag hunting rifle, and I've just not really had the urge to go out and shoot anything. I shoot every animal that I see with a camera. I just love it. But as long as I can go to the grocery store and fill the freezer with fish during the summer, I'm pretty much okay right now. A moose is way too much meat for me anyway. It would be nice to get a caribou. That's a little more doable for me as far as how much meat I would have. But I don't know what I would do with a moose. That's entirely too much meat. And everybody would say, you can give me some, but yeah, I'm not going to shoot it if I'm not going to eat it. That's just not me. German shortbread cookies. Nice. Merry Christmas, Steve. Thank you for stopping by. I hope your Christmas was wonderful, and I hope the rest of your day is awesome as well, man. Thanks for joining me. I will eat moose. I like moose. But yeah, I thought about rabbit, because I have so many rabbits here on the property. But then I also like walking out when we've had a fresh snowfall and seeing all the rabbit tracks around the property. And I don't want to jeopardize that. So I don't need them. They're free to roam. They can do whatever they want. Tribs and Trams. You're about to go live to find the drawing for my giveaway, but notice that Sean is on. Awesome. Thanks for hanging, man. Much appreciated. Merry Christmas. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to be live for a while, dude. So if you're going to go live, by all means, go live. But yeah, I appreciate you stopping by. You got fermenting for beginners and a backyard medicine book. That is a good question. Michigan Daffodil posted right there. Did anybody get a gift that is cool for prepping or science? She got fermenting for beginners and backyard medicine book. Oh, Trips and Tramps. I didn't even realize that, Jess. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Michigan Daffodil, those are awesome, awesome gifts. And that's a neat thing to point out, too, because it's funny. When I was younger, the gift that I wanted was whatever was trendy. But as I get older, the gift that I wanted is something that I can use for a long way down the road, like the coffee grinder that, the viewer gave me. I can see many, many years of use out of that. And so now the ultimate gifts for me are either something that I could use for a long, long time, and will have added benefit as the years go by, or the gift that someone made by hand, because there's no replacing a handmade gift as far as I'm concerned. It's just incredible. Turned around in a church parking lot in Cheney, Washington 3 weeks ago, and there was a 12-foot, not kidding, bull moose eating the leaves off a tree. We call that Tuesday up here, Drops. Bill, Merry Christmas. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. Karen, apple pie. Awesome. Carol, welcome back. We've ate moose on several occasions. Really, really good. Better than Black Angus. I don't know. A good ribeye is kind of hard to beat. But it is delicious. And I'm a venison guy too, so I don't mind the gamey flavor at all. I really like that. But man, ultimate ribeye, game. If you're giving me either one for free, I'll take the ribeye. Should always donate part of the moose to the families in need. How about the local food bank? That's a good point. That is a good point. I could do that. Maybe it's starting to look better down the road. Because I do, for those that don't know, I work in retail grocery here in Alaska, and I manage a dairy department in my local Safeway store. And so I donate a lot of stuff to the food bank every day. Every single day they get, if I've got stuff that's coming up to going out of date or stuff that's discontinued, and actually all of my out of date yogurt products, they want all of that because our local food bank doesn't only donate food for people, they also donate food for animals and pets that people have. So they take pretty much everything. But that's not a bad idea to look into. If they could even take and then repurpose, reprocess, or re-gift, I guess, that meat to an outside source, to a person, to a family. That would be a cool idea. Question: was there one thing that shocked me that I didn't know about off-grid? So Ray's asking if there was one thing that shocked me that I didn't know about being off-grid. Let me think. Food storage was a shock because of my situation and living in the trailer and the fluctuation of temperatures. So I'm the kind of guy that when there's a good deal at the grocery store, I buy extra of it just so I have it at home. And then, every once in a while, I don't go shopping for 2 or 3 weeks because I have everything I need. And I did not take into consideration that stuff stored inside this trailer during the winter when it's 20 plus below zero, I didn't have to worry about it getting too warm and spoiling. I had to worry about whether or not it would freeze and spoil. So I've lost a lot of produce because it was too cold how I had it stored originally. And, once you freeze most produce items and they thaw out, they just turn to mush. They're garbage. So food storage was and still is a bit of a challenge for me. But that's probably the only thing that I can think of off the top of my head that really shocked me, because I was prepared for the worst case scenario, I thought, on most things when I went off grid. So like equipment failures and running out of gas and my car freezing, I kind of expected those things to happen. So I stayed on top of those, but I did not expect the inside of the trailer being too cold to be able to properly store food. So that was an issue that I didn't even take into consideration. So that's probably the best answer I can give you on that one, Ray. What was I? There's Ray. Michelle has received Fermenting for Beginners from her sister earlier this year. She's been putting up. Oh, nice. I think I have that book too, but I think I have the electronic version on my Kindle because I do have a Kindle. It's just a great way for me to store books. I also have a ton of books that I keep in my motorhome that's parked over at some friend's house undercover that once I get into the cabin, I'll be able to bring those in and actually store them. I have no room to store them in here, obviously. The time I've ever had moose, and there's a wildlife. Oh yeah, the only time I've had moose up here, well, the only times I've had, because I've had it multiple times up here, no gamey flavor at all whatsoever. But venison I don't think I've ever had venison where it didn't have some kind of a gamey flavor. Moose, on the other hand, no, not none of the same flavors that you would get from deer. Totally a different tasting animal, closer, I think, to beef than venison than it would be to deer. Family of 7 deer that come through your yard every night. That's awesome. I love seeing that. I love seeing when I leave the driveway or when I'm sitting in the driveway and a moose comes walking through. It is so awesome. It just makes me realize where I live. Any senior citizens near me, I can give them some moose. There are a lot, but there's also a lot of people out here that already hunt and already fill those freezers for those folks. So they'll fish, and we have we have the proxy fishing up here, where an older person who can't go out and fish can allow you to fish for them under their proxy license, and you catch the fish and fill up their freezer. So nobody that I can think of off the top of my head that would be in need of it, and that would be the big deal. Is if I don't want to just fill somebody's freezer whose freezer is already full. There we go. Is that here? Or fish, yeah. First job was working for Safeway. Awesome, Drops. That's my first job was working for my dad, and I guess my first. No, it wasn't. It was probably the first job after a bakery for Safeway in Daly City, California. And I managed a bakery for them there. And then I was with them as a baker for many years. And then a night crew manager, an assistant store manager, a center of store manager, a corporate bakery guy. And now I'm the dairy manager. So of all the jobs I've ever had with them, I love this one the best because it's Monday through Friday. I go to work every day at 4 a.m. I get off at noon. So I have the whole rest of the day to do whatever I want. And I get to see at least the sunrise. When I'm going to work at 4 a.m. in the middle of summer, I'm catching the beginning of the sun, or the sunrise may have just happened, but I get to see both ends of the spectrum, and I get to have dinner at nighttime, which I love that shift. How far is the drive to Anchorage? So, Charles, the drive to Anchorage for me is, I don't know what the mileage is, but it probably takes me about 3 hours to get here. I'm not a fast driver. I do the speed limit pretty much the whole way. I drove for 10 years commercially, so I've gotten to the point where I don't speed anymore. So probably about 3 hours to get there, 3.5 on the other side of it. So. You actually prefer elk over moose, but definitely not fond of venison. I love elk too. Elk sausage, elk summer sausage. Yum. Fall caribou is extremely gamey, but winter caribou is mild gamey. Okay, cool. Sheep meat, which is, the mountain goats, the bighorn sheep here in Alaska. I love sheep. Oh, I love sheep meat. It is so delicious. You're very into game meats, or more experience with deer, but also love moose. And you know what? It's crazy too, Jess, that you mentioned that. And Jess's other channel is Rain Dance Bushcraft. I never thought I would see the day where I could buy bison and venison in the grocery store. Yet we have it at our local Safeway. You could buy bison. It's frozen, but you could buy bison and venison in the store. And I never expected to see that. So for people who've never had game meat and wanted to give it a try, even though that's generally farmed game meat, it's a way to get your foot in the door and see if it's something you might like. Plowman's Backyard, Merry Christmas. Glad you could make it. Thanks for stopping by and joining me. Hope your Christmas was fantastic and hope the rest of your day is as well. Eves L, Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining. Usually soak venison in a brine solution before cooking it. Yeah. So my mom, her second husband, Carl, was a big avid hunter. And in the part of California where he's from, he's a rancher. The part of California where he's from, it was deer. That's what they hunted on a regular basis. So Ashley, my youngest daughter, who was Hillywood's life, was in here earlier. They're probably doing their dinner thing now. She is fearless. she's so much like me, it's crazy. She'll try anything. Um, Sometimes it's not good, but most of the time it's awesome. So Carl, they're hanging their deer. He's got the heart, and he goes ahead and fries it up. And so I give a piece to my daughter Ashley, and I give a piece to my daughter Brienne, and I could just try it. What is it? Don't worry about it. It's meat. Just try it. So they went ahead and the oldest one was like, "Yeah, it's okay. I don't want any more." And the youngest one, Ashley, goes, "What is it?" And I go, "It's heart." She goes, "What?" And I go, "Deer heart. It's Bambi heart." And she's all, "Can I have more?" So I'm a firm believer that if you're going to give your kids anything that you think they might not be interested in, don't tell them what it is first. Just give them the generic name. It's meat. Try it. It's good. And let them make up their own mind. Don't make up any faces on it. One thing I like when living in Redmond, Washington, near Seattle, was the wild caught salmon when it was in season. So much better. Yeah, it is. The salmon that I catch here in the Kenai River is, first of all, the meat is so much more firm. And there's nothing better than from the river to my grill to my plate in less than an hour. It's just phenomenal. The flavor is just fantastic. I'm a huge sockeye fan. Your nephew and Bill, professional butcher. He does small herds on farms. Nice. That's very cool, Drops. There's a lot of guys up here that are butchers commercially for local grocery stores and then have butcher shops set up at their homes that will process your game up here. They'll process. I have a friend in Fairbanks that he processes probably 30 or 40 moose a year for guys. And he always does it kind of a trade and cash deal. So he gets paid a certain amount to do it. And if they're willing to kick him down some meat, he'll cut the price on what he charges them to butcher their kill, their harvest. And then he'll take the stuff that he gets and anything that's not a roast or a steak, he'll grind it up and he'll make sausage and salamis and stuff out of it. Oh, it's delicious. Just yummy. He doesn't sell it. He just gives it away and eats it. But yeah, there's a lot of folks up here that do that. How long do you guys leave your tree up for before you take it down? When we were younger, we always took the tree down on New Year's Day. But when do you take your Christmas tree down if you put one up this year? The first weekend after the New Year's? Okay. After New Year's Day? Okay. I'm probably going to pull that one down. Yeah, I'll probably pull that one down on New Year's Day before I go live. Mainly because I want my table back. You didn't put a tree up this year? I debated whether or not I was going to, and I have that's a fake tree that I bought, I think my first Christmas that I was up here in Alaska, and it's everything together, lights and all. It separates in the middle, take the legs off, it all goes back into a box and all goes into storage. So I thought, I had it in here anyway, I'll go ahead and put it up, because I did put it up last year. I had it sitting on the floor over here last year, but now I've got this rack, so I couldn't do that. Destiny, same for you. You take your Christmas tree down on New Year's Day. Okay, cool. Very cool. How many of you folks out there plant a garden every year? And what are you going to plant this year that you've never planted before, but you're excited about? Because if you saw my videos towards the end of fall here, just before the snow hit, I was clearing the area for my garden. So this will be my first full garden on the property. I did potatoes last year. So I'm really looking forward to planting that garden, and I'm going to start putting some serious planning into that in the next couple of weeks. But if you do garden, what's one thing that you're going to do this year that you've never done before that you're excited about? I'd love to hear that. You haven't put up a tree since the wife passed 5 years ago, Drops out. It's a hassle sometimes, but it gets me so much in the Christmas spirit. Just to have that tree up makes all the difference in the world for me. Trees down January 2nd, Charles. I had an aunt that would leave hers up till Easter. She would leave that thing up till Easter. That's crazy. You grew some potatoes last year at your cabin. Hopefully you can get started. Soil ready for a large garden at your Willow property. Awesome. Very cool. Potatoes are so fun to grow because you don't have to really be a good gardener to get potatoes to grow. You just have to be a good gardener to get great potatoes. But you could be, I've never planted anything in my and be successful. It's just the level of success goes up exponentially with how good of a gardener you are. Swen starts all of my plants from seeds. Merry Christmas, by the way. Thanks for joining me. I last year I didn't start what I have. Rosemary, tomato, and basil. I didn't start those from seeds. I bought some starts because they were going in containers and I didn't really have a garden. This year, I'm going to try and get as many as I can started from seeds on this rack right here. And so I'm going to have to finagle a way to get some lighting in for the plants. But I would like to start quite a few of my plants this year from seeds. Leslie gardens every year. New Brussels sprouts. I've never done Brussels sprouts with success. I've started seeds for Brussels sprouts 5 times. 5 times I've managed to kill those things. I think it was me. So Brussels sprouts are something I want to put in the garden because I love eating those things. What was I? Destiny, gonna try skirret in the garden this year. Wish you luck. Good luck with that. Stuck indoors, you grew some awesome potatoes in tubs this year. Very cool. Love Outdoors. Welcome, by the way. Thank you for joining me. Merry Christmas. Beans to dry, hopefully. Wow, Michigan, that's a lot of beans. Because I thought about doing that, and then I went, holy smokes, that's going to take a lot of plants to get that to go. But I guess I've never done it before, but I guess you don't need as much space as I think you're going to need to get enough beans to actually store dry. But man, it'd be fun to grow your own pinto beans, to grow your own, for me, small red beans, because I like, red beans and rice, and I like my ham hock and beans and chili and stuff, and I use red beans for all that. Oh, you have a small garden? You're growing okra, Charles? Very cool. Yeah, I don't really think I could do okra up here because we just don't have the heat. And everything I've read about okra, because there was a couple of YouTubers that were doing okra challenges. I thought I looked into maybe growing it because I thought with the sunlight, but you need some warm weather, and I don't really have that warm weather here to grow those kind of crops. I'm gonna have to get creative with tomatoes, and if I want to get any tomatoes to can, I'm gonna have to grow some short season ones, and if I want to get any paste tomatoes, I'm gonna have to probably rig some kind of a greenhouse with to get them warm enough to be able to set fruit. Karen, you take yours down on January 2nd. Awesome. Bill, the Lone Moose. Merry Christmas, my friend. How are you? I just made you a moderator, Bill. Go ahead. Bill is an awesome guy who's getting ready to move up here to Alaska. Met him this summer, him and his wife. Wonderful, wonderful guy. Him and Jim. I met Jim this year, and him and Jim have been buddies forever. And Bill's been running around and on the road left and right. But Merry Christmas, man. Thanks for stopping in. I'm glad you made it. Jess always starts from seeds as well. Starting from seeds is so fun. And if you've got kids and you've got young kids, showing them a plant starting from a seed all the way till they eat it is an experience that they will never forget. It's an awesome, awesome thing. I gardened a lot more, obviously, when I lived in California, but my kids got to see fresh corn cob, where you'd walk down, you'd pick the corn, you'd walk up, you'd shuck it, throw it in the water, pull it out, and eat it. And so they've had some of the best food you can ever have just by seeing that from A to Z, the whole process. Just incredible way to do it. Been out on the motorcycle this afternoon. Oh, see, there you go. Another guy in Texas talking about 80 degrees. You're killing me. You can grow there all year round, Charles? Yeah, I know, right? You can grow here all year round, too. During the summer, it's a garden. During the winter, it's ice. We're growing all year round. You have to watch the potatoes because they require a pH soil 5.8 to 6.4. They need a lot of nutrients, especially nitrogen. But gardener, okay, so potatoes drops. Here's the deal I found with potatoes. They love blood meal or bone meal is what they love. And this was the first year I actually added it to the soil, and I added the organic version. It was bone meal, I think it was. So I added the organic version of it, and my potatoes, if it would have been for the chicken destruction that happened when, before I covered it up, would have been epic this year. But even then, even though they weren't as big as I expected them to be, they were the biggest potatoes I ever grew, and they are delicious. But yeah, so pH makes a big difference in a lot of different things you'll grow. Some kind of herb or weed that your backyard medicine book describes that can help you with inflammation. Oh, there you go. That's awesome. So growing medicinal herbs, very cool. You should aim to get a double layer high tunnel to grow stuff in. It would extend my growing season by a month or so. So eventual plans down the road are for a high tunnel. But that's going to be, like I said, down the road. In the beginning, I think I can jerry rig something for tomatoes because the two types of tomatoes, determinate and indeterminate. So the determinate tomatoes would be like your paste tomatoes, your canning tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, that kind of stuff. They're only going to grow so high and so big. The indeterminate are the ones that, I've grown them 15 feet in height, and they produce fruit as they grow going up. I don't know that I'll do too many indeterminate tomatoes this year. I'll do a couple, obviously, but determinate's where I'm going to focus on, because I could actually rig some kind of a greenhouse for them without having to build a full greenhouse, something I could do temporary for the season. But yeah, high tunnel down the road, definitely. Use red beans too, love them. Yeah, I love red beans. For me, they're awesome. Black beans too, but I like black beans for eating, for cooking in their own, making their own little dish. But red beans are so versatile for me. Just for fun, experience, not a lot, just to see if you can do it. Small garden here with the hubby, semi-clueless on prepping. Well, there you go, right? So you can, when it comes to gardening, you could do a garden in the ground, or you could do, you could buy the little movable container beds. Super simple. My mom's got a bunch at home that she grows herbs in that are maybe 8 inches wide, maybe 8 inches deep. Heck, you can grow that stuff in rain gutters, actually, and deck, because she doesn't want to deal with digging the ground up anymore and putting gardens in. But yeah, you can go real small and just do container gardens, or you can go real big container gardens, or you can go hog wild and do a big garden. Anything growing, though, is just a ton of fun. You need to build a greenhouse for most tomatoes and other veggies. Yeah, you do. Although the one tomato plant that I had here, the Sun Gold that I had here last year, I did get fruit off of, and it kept fruiting when I moved it into my house when it got too cold. So it's the time that's the biggest issue, and the temperature, because tomatoes need that higher temperature to set their fruit, and we don't get it consistently enough for them to set a ton of fruit. So I have a plan, and we'll try it out, and we'll see if it works. And if it does, then hopefully other people can use it. And it's an inexpensive plan to try and get that to work. Where was I at here? Roma tomatoes make a nice little bush, so they work well for growing indoors. Right, yeah. I'm glad you made it back too, Bill. Awesome. Glad you made it back. I'm going to be on for probably another hour. No more than 4 o'clock, though, because after 4, there's other people I know that go live, that have live scheduled on a regular basis. And I don't know if they're going to be live tonight or not, but I do want to get outside and cook my dinner. A greenhouse is almost necessary, right, to get any amount of tomatoes. Use an old metal frame from one of those 10 by 20 portable garages for greenhouses. That should work awesome. My daughter, Brianne, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who tunes in to watch my dad. This has been a huge journey for him, and all your support is outstanding. Merry Christmas. Awesome, Brianne. Thank you very much. I love you, boo. Peat moss is good for lowering the pH, and that's what I used in that bed. I used manure, I used organic, and I used peat moss, and blended them together so that I ended up not even knowing I was doing it, lowering the pH of it. You like the tree? Is that real or fake? It's fake. Yeah. It comes in a box. And it comes with the lights and everything on. So to set it up is 5 minutes, to put it away is 5 minutes. It's an awesome tree. I'm a real tree guy more than anything, but that is a neat little investment. Nice. Look at everybody giving kudos to my daughter. That's very cool. Awesome too. She has chickens. She had chickens before me, and she just raised chicks from eggs. She just hatched her own chicks for the first time ever this year. It is so awesome because she was like recording it with her phone and sending it to me in Facebook Messenger chats. It was so cool. Oh, raised bed garden layout. Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Bill. MB Heritage Farms. Welcome. Glad you can make it. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you guys. All right. Right. There's Jess. Yeah. Whatever you do, Brianne, don't tell me. Whatever Charles said, don't tell me. Be going live after I'm done? Oh, very cool, Jess. Then I'll jump over to your live and check that out. You know what? I just realized right now that I have top chat on and not live chat. So if I missed anybody's comment, I truly apologize for that because I'm an idiot. And if I missed your comment, leave it again because I'm trying to read everybody's comment and say hello to everybody as they come in. If I missed a question, by all means, ask it again. If I've already answered it, then I won't answer it again. I'll just skip over it. But sometimes I go brain dead when I'm doing this, and I'm not an expert by any means at this. I am getting better, though, I think. I think this live's going a little smoother than the previous ones. One thing about pine needles, you can boil green pine needles in water and drink the solution for vitamin C. Yeah, so we used to call that pine needle tea when I was in the Boy Scouts years ago. We used to make that all the time. We used to drink pine needle tea and eat miner's lettuce. I don't know how there was a different in the chat. Yeah. So did you? So one of the things that I learned, like in the beginning of watching lives, I kept missing comments unless somebody tagged me, and that was because I had top chat on and not live chat on. And so if you have live chat on, you will see everything in the chat. If you have top chat on, you might miss a few things. New Year's Day for you as well, Whiskey Harbor? Okay, cool. Yeah, Bill. So Bill's mentioning right now where his property is. I'm streaming everything off of my Verizon cell phone program or plan that I have up here. And so I when I drove down to Homer a couple of weeks ago, I kept watching my signal in the area where Bill's property was. And then I spaced it. But that whole area, I had great signal. So I'm actually going to make a trip back down there again, Bill, in the next couple of weeks. And I will actually pull up to your property and do a full serviceable check with a screenshot and everything for you to show you what kind of a signal I have, so that you'll know if it'll work for you in that area too. That's a big issue up here. Is I'm really lucky this time of year that we don't have a lot of traffic on the network, and it allows me to stream like this because I can't really do this in the summer. Excuse me. So miner's lettuce, and I don't know if it exists everywhere, Jess, but on the west coast of California, on the coastal areas, it's a green, let's call it a weed, that grows up and has a flat top on it. It's got one stem coming down and just a flat top on it. And basically you can eat it like lettuce. And the miners did, and that's how it got its name, miner's lettuce. So I don't know what the true name is for it, but it grows prolifically from San Francisco north on the coast of California. And I'm sure it grows up on the coast of Oregon and Washington as well. I haven't seen it here in Alaska, but I imagine it would probably be fine all the way up towards Juneau. And I don't know if it would make it much further north than that just because of the temperatures. On pine needle tea, I just strip the needles off the stems. So I just grabbed a handful of needles, break them off the stems, or you can cut them with a knife and just cut them off and throw the needles in. That's how we always made it in the Boy Scouts. I don't think we ever used the stem itself. I don't think that the pitch would make a very good tasting tea. But it does taste really citrusy. Oh, there we go. Drops just posted the breakdown of what Miner's Lettuce is. Spring Beauty, Winter Plus. You're all about the typos today? I'm all about the typos every day, man. Hey, not a problem at all, Bill. We'll discuss it over beers and a brisket, right? Miner's lettuce was so important as a source of vitamin C that the British planted it in Cuba. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That is crazy. See, I learned something new. You learned something about miner's lettuce here today on my live. That's crazy. That's fun. I got to say, I probably won't ever do a 3-hour live again. Although next week when I go live, I'm going to try StreamYard. And then maybe we can have a couple of people join me up on top on the screen, because I could share a link then and I could actually let other people chime in as well. So I wouldn't have to talk as much, because I normally don't talk this much. But I'm going to try StreamYard or StreamYard platform next week instead of using the regular YouTube platform that I'm using now. I think it'd be fun. So we could talk a little bit about my setup here. I'm running all this off my laptop, and then I've got a 32-inch television monitor that I use for video editing that I'm watching all the stuff in so I can see the comments. All the power right now is being provided by the generator running outside. I've got my cell phone sitting right here that's hotspotting the signal over the cell phone network so that I can stream and do all this in real time. It's sitting on a wireless cell phone charger, which I can only use obviously when it's plugged in. And when I'm not using the cell phone charger, I'm a big fan of this kind of stuff. So this is a Z-Gear power brick. It's got 2 USB ports in it, and it charges through this USB-C right here. And it's got a screen that'll tell you your state of charge. And if I push the button to turn it on, it will also have a flashlight on there right here. But I'm not going to do that right now because it takes me 10 minutes to figure out how to turn the light off. So that's how I am doing what I'm doing right now. And it seems to be working fine. Lately I've been uploading as many videos as possible from home. And I haven't hit the ceiling yet on my data plan, which is very cool. I'm going to push it this week, though. I'll tell you what. Use StreamYard every Tuesday night specifically so you can have people on whenever. Nice, Jess. So I might use it next week just to start teaching myself how to use it, because I think, number one, I think my image comes across clearer in StreamYard than it does on the YouTube app that I'm using right now. And number two, so that I can get more people involved in the chat, because I think that there's enough folks that show up at these live chats that have channels that could give some really good information to the other folks that don't have channels and just watch to see and learn. So yeah, I definitely think I'm going to play with that one next week, see how well it works. But it'll be back to my regular time of 3 p.m. So just an hour, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. On Saturday. And then I think I discussed this before. After New Year's, I'm going to probably reevaluate this, because going live every Saturday means that I can't go anywhere on my days off. So I'm probably going to switch it to maybe every other Saturday at that point, or I might change the day completely. We'll see how that works out. But we'll talk about it then as we get closer to it. Julie Cleary says StreamYard seems really cool. A lot of YouTube folks use it for their lives. Yeah, exactly. And there's a free version and a paid version. And I think that there's not much of a difference for my level. between the free and the paid, other than it'll have a little watermark up in the corner. And if I pay for it, I don't have the watermark. I don't know how much more of a difference it is than that. I tried playing around with some different things the first time I tested this, and I screwed the whole thing up, so I said forget it. But StreamYard is pretty easy. Looks pretty simple. Get all your brewing gear up there and make some beer, and then enter in the Alaska Brewing Company homebrew competition. Oh, awesome. Very good, Bill. Yeah. Homebrew. Don't believe a single thing that Bill says. Right, Jim? Jess at Rain Dance. So every year, my local brewery, the Kenai River Brewing Company, they do a lot of promotional beers through ales through the year for local wildlife stuff. And one of them is Salteshi Trails. And they a series of 4 different beers for them. And every year, one of them is a spruce tip ale. And the volunteers from Salteshi actually go out and harvest all the spruce tips, bring them to the brewery, and they use them in the beer that they're brewing that year. So it's pretty awesome. And spruce tips, I'm going to get more into those in the spring, in the different uses of spruce tips up here in Alaska, traditional uses. But you'll see me doing a lot with spruce tips this year. No. So JD from SC, I must have the heaters popping since I'm in shorts. No, actually, this heater, the one I call my feet heat, not even on. The temperature outside right now is 21 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's probably close to 60, 65 at the most, right where I'm sitting. But after a certain point, you do start to get a little used to the colder weather. I wear either the kilt or short pants every chance I can get. If I can take long pants off, I won't wear them at all. If I could work in my kilt, I just do not like pants all the way down to my ankles. It drives me nuts. Frank Short, thank you for joining me. Very, very, very Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day, and I hope your week is fantastic. Again, Frank, thanks for stopping by. What time is that each time zone? Your alert today said you'd be on at 10 p.m. your time. Clearly not. It's 7:05 your time now. It's 7:05 your time now. It is 3:05 my time right now. So you must be Eastern time, I'm guessing. So Alaska time is 1 hour behind California time. So it's 3:05 here now. It's 4:05 in California. It's 7:05 on the East Coast. I don't know exactly in time zones what it is, but usually what I'll do is I will Google it. If there's somebody going live and I'm not sure when, I'll Google their time zone. There are 2 paid plans. The higher one streams you at 1080p rather than 720. Too rich for your blood, though. Yeah, I don't. So right now, I think I'm streaming at 720. But when I've gone on other panels, on other lives where they use StreamYard, they're streaming at 722 because they're not paying for it. And I think that's what they're streaming at. And I look clearer than I look right now. So I don't think I'd do a paid version. I don't think I'd go live enough to justify a paid version. That would be the biggest thing for me. And the bandwidth. I'm only going to have so much bandwidth here anyway. Destiny, awesome for the coffee beans. You rock. Thank you very much. Oh, Seinfeld soup Nazi. No soup for you. No beer for you, Jim. Spruce tip jelly, yes, I will play around with that this year. I made fireweed jelly 2 years ago, and that turned out really well after the first fiasco, and I had to go through and reset the whole thing. But spruce tip jelly is something I'll definitely do this year. I would like to do a jalapeno spruce tip jelly, kind of like a cowboy candy with spruce tips. That could be interesting. So I'm going to play around a bit on that. Can't do shorts till 68 in spring. 1999, you wore shorts for 362 days and wore long pants for 2 weddings and a funeral. Nice. Yeah, so Rain dance bushcraft. Jess makes a great point here, and a lot of people say, and you'll see in tomorrow's video, I'm wearing a kilt for the first part of it, and then I'm wearing long pants for the second part of it. And the reason for the long pants is because I'm down on my knees on the ground, and I have found that from my ankles to my waist, generally speaking, I don't get cold if I have on good upper body wear and I'm wearing a hat. Something to keep the heat in on my head and something to keep my core warm. Generally speaking, my legs don't get cold. But there are times when, like what you'll see in tomorrow's video, I'm working on equipment where I'm down on my knees that, the kilt just wouldn't make any sense. Wet and cold and miserable. So I do wear pants then. But guy that when I drove a bread truck in the Sierra Nevadas of California for 10 years, there'd be 4.5 feet of snow on the ground, and I'm jumping out of the back of my bread truck in short pants. And they're like, "You are nuts, dude." Much more comfortable that way. I can't say I've done what Jess did, but that would be fun. And I'm almost going to take that as a challenge to wear my kilt every day for the year 2022. No matter what the weather, no matter what the temperature, to only wear a kilt for the entire year. Jess, you may have started something here. Okay, Michigan Daffodil, Eastern Standard Time. Very good. And again, Destiny, thank you very much. I'm going to get some good coffee. I'm going to get some good beans. And that first cup, well, the first sip has to go to the person that, because I sent her a message thanking her. That first sip has to go to the person that got me the grinder. But you get the smile on the second sip. I get a multi-SIM antenna that would boost my upload speed using multi-cell signals. Love outdoors, stuck indoors. Okay, so on that one, eventually I would like to get Starlink here. Not that at this point, I really don't need it. My download speeds right here at the cabin or at the trailer are running right around 130 megabits per second. My upload speeds run about 50 megabits per second, and that's hotspotting off of the cell phone. So, I uploaded tomorrow's video is like 2.1 gigs, and I uploaded that video in 15 minutes. So that for me isn't an issue. Where it becomes an issue is the summer when I have to drive to town to upload because the network gets so congested here. Then my upload and download speeds are terrible. So, it gets so bad I can't even stream on my phone to watch something. So I just kind of give up. At that point, I'm probably just going to go with Starlink so that I have a consistent up and down. It's not available here yet. I did get an email saying I can apply now, but we're looking at early to mid 2022 before that'll be available here. And then once it is, I'll probably jump on it. Right when you have to wear pants now, right? Yeah, Charles, especially you, dude. Charles W's in the Philippines, so anybody who didn't know and didn't hear me mention it earlier, I couldn't imagine wearing long pants in the Philippines. Being here in South Texas, you have to access prickly pear cactus. Yep. Yeah, doing the same thing with fireweed would be, making the jelly with fireweed is awesome. I don't know that it would translate to a beer because the flavor in the jelly is so delicate and floral. I don't know that a beer would actually allow you to pick up that flavor or aroma from an ale. I don't know that it would work. It'd be fun to try. It'd be fun in a mead. So if you want to get together and maybe make a nice honey mead, we could use fireweed honey and we could color it and flavor it with fireweed petals. That would probably allow it to come through. Am I in a bad tourist area then? Yes, I am. So basically from late May through the end of August, our population down here goes through the roof because all the salmon runs are coming through. And we get all the folks in July for 2 weeks, we get all the folks from Anchorage that come down here to go dip netting. So good luck with cell service at all. And then throughout that whole period of time, we get travelers from all over the world here to fish this river. It's just it's a world-class epic fishing river, and the amount of people we get are phenomenal. So yeah, that's why our network gets so congested, and that's why in the winter I can do this. Skylinks in lower Earth orbits, and they fall off orbit and have to be replaced occasionally. I've seen a map of the satellites, and they don't seem to go far enough north to really cover Alaska. They don't right now, Terry, but he's putting more and more satellites, and supposedly we're going to get service. I know that some folks that I know that are in Canada now have Starlink, and they couldn't get it before, and they said it's just some of the data speeds that they were reporting were pretty awesome compared to what they had before. You're not sure he's worried about. So the thing about him is that he will, I think, go anywhere he needs to go to beat Amazon. and he actually sold the whole idea in the beginning about as to bringing internet to rural areas. So you can't get much more rural than we are, right? Us in northern Canada. So you got to think that eventually he's going to want total global coverage when he's done, because it just makes his system stronger to have the entire globe encased as opposed to just having a band of the globe encased. Note to self, Google fireweed. Fireweed is a beautiful flower, and it gets its name because it generally grows in areas that have recently been wiped out from forest fire. It's a tall green stalk that flowers from basically the top to the bottom, and on the tip, and it's a bright pink flower. It can be white, but generally it's a bright pink flower, and it's a beautiful flower. Yeah, right, Bill? Well, let's do that. We'll do a mead with local fireweed honey. It'll be pricey. We'll age that thing in some oak, and we'll use fireweed on the secondary fermentation to extract the color from that flower out, and that would be a beautiful. Boy, we could probably do something like that and get just a gorgeous taste out of it. Microbrewery that uses fireweed in a beer. I can't remember which one. I can't. You know what I'm thinking too while I'm talking to Bill about this, that there is a local meadery, a commercial place that makes mead that also makes a fireweed mead, and I'll have to check it out. I'll have to look it up and find it. But it'd be fun to taste somebody else's and then do your own on top of that. Combat fishing, yeah. Where thousands upon thousands of people get a hook in their eye every year, or their head, or their ear, or it's crazy. I can thankfully say I've never actually been fishing where I had somebody standing so close to me that I had to worry about the hook. I've never heard the hook go zing by my ear. I've been pretty lucky. I've got some great spots to go though too, so. Eastern Russia is really sparsely populated too, right? Yeah, I just, when it comes to that, love outdoors. If they do it, it'll be great. If they don't, oh well. But all I can say is that I did get the letter that said, you can now apply because we're going to be there soon. And that every update that I've seen from them is 2022. They're planning on actually having enough up here to do it. But yeah, Eastern Russia is extremely sparse, and an area of Russia I would love to see, because you want to talk about total wilderness. That's got to be one of the last really wild places that's accessible on the planet. Compared to Alaska, it's got to be phenomenal. Oh, you see, I've never been able. Leslie said she bought some fireweed plants in Eastern Oregon, and I've never been able to get fireweed to grow where I want it to grow. It's kind of a gag that, fireweed will grow everywhere that it wants, just know where you want it to grow, because it would be a beautiful. If you've seen some of the videos that I have of where I tried to grow the sunflowers out here on the berm between myself and the neighbor's property. That would be a beautiful spot for fireweed. It would be gorgeous to have that whole hump out there, just electric red, would be beautiful. Oh, nice. Teriyaki steak with yellow rice? Yum. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Alaska Brewing has carried Fireweed Blonde. Didn't know that. Alaska Brewing made a smoked porter that I had to try because it was porter, which is one of my favorite beers, and it was smoked, which is one of my favorite things to do with food. And it was out of it, and I couldn't drink any more of it. I'm all, it's done. So kudos to them for thinking out of the box, but that was not a beer I enjoyed. I understand they sold the heck out of it, but that was not one for me. Who likes fruitcake? Because generally speaking, all I hear is nasty, nasty things about fruitcake, and I actually love fruitcake every year at this time of year. So I'm kind of curious if there's anybody else out there like me that actually enjoys it. No, Jess, I'm telling you this. It was entirely too smoked. Entirely, it was like there was a fire, and there happened to be a barrel of beer next to that fire with an open top, and they were burning a building down, and that was the smoke. It was way too strong for me. It was way too much smoke. You like fruitcake? Cool. I do too. I don't know why people. I guess that if all people had is generic mass-produced fruitcake, they wouldn't like actual real fruitcake that is cake and fruit instead of what you generally see in the store. That's all that candied fruit and a little bit of cake to hold it together. Yeah, I didn't get one. Actually, see if we've got any left at the store when I go back to work on Monday, and if we do, I might swing by there tomorrow. I might pick one up because we do have some good ones there this year. I agree, Lone Moose. I do need to try some good smoked beers. Unfortunately, that one was not on the list of good. It had all the rest of the categories. It just was missing the good part on the smoked beers. I have no problem with smoked anything, but it's got to complement the flavor and not be the only flavor. And that was my biggest problem with it. It was the only flavor that I tasted. There are different kinds of fruitcakes. There are drops. You love fruitcake? Your son brought you some the other day? Awesome. Very cool. Yes, Michigan daffodil. Homemade, if done right. If done right. I've made a lot of fruitcakes in my life. I'll tell you that. You like fruitcake? You like fruitcake? See, that's why we all hang out together. It's because we all have great taste, right? That's awesome. I like fruitcake, but I'm a bit crazy. I am probably partially fruitcake myself. So no, I had German Reich beer, rock beer, but it's completely again the smoke. It's just like when you're smoking meat, right? The smoke has to complement the flavor, not become the flavor. And I thought with that Alaskan smoked porter that the smoke was the flavor, and the porter was we just throw whatever we want in here and call it porter. It was a dark beer, but it needed a balance, and I didn't have it out of the bottle so I poured it from the bottle to the glass. Took a sip right away. Thought, well, okay, maybe it's just got to air a bit, and I let it sit there for 10, 15 minutes and took another drink, and it was no better. So that was it for me. Yeah, so real fruitcake is more like a sweet bread. I agree. It's not as stolen. It's more fruity than stolen, but less. Um, it's more fruity than stolen and more cake than what you normally find in fruitcake now. It's kind of a blend in the middle, leaning more towards the fruitcake you buy now than the stolen. But yeah, to me it's much more than just the canned fruit or the candied fruit that's in it. Cypress Blue, Merry Christmas. Glad you could make it. Thanks for joining me today. I hope your day is fantastic. I hope you've had a great Christmas so far. Get a little two-stage smoker. One thing I really enjoy is smoked cheeses. I love smoked cheeses. And I had a Lure Jensen Big Chief smoker before I moved up here, and I tried smoking some Swiss cheese and smoking some regular Gouda and smoking some cheddar cheese, and it was delicious. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Mike, never tried it. My mother hated it, so we never had it growing up. I did grow up in a bakery, so we pretty much tried every holiday baked good you can think of. Charred oak timbers and throw them into the fermentation vat. Another great German beer is 1878 from a small brewery in Lohr. Oh, nice. You're not packing to move. Love smoked cheese. I still don't own a smoker though. Yeah, I don't own a smoker anymore. Well, I do. I've got the little R2D2 smoker out in the yard there. Knockoff. It's a Brinks. It's a knockoff of the Weber Smoky Mountain. And I have the side box smoker that I rebuilt a couple of years ago. I got it for free, and I put all the new wood on it and repainted it and everything else. But I want to build a smokehouse. And if I have time in the spring before the ground thaws out enough to put the concrete in for the sonotubes, I might try my hand at building a nice little smokehouse, because I do want a smokehouse here on the property for smoking fish, for smoking meats, for smoking. I want to make my own kielbasa, that kind of stuff. Smoked summer sausage and stuff. So yeah, I definitely want to build one. Trudy Cron, Merry Christmas. Thank you for stopping in. I hope your Christmas was wonderful, and I hope the rest of the day is as well. Happy, healthy new year from Atlanta, Georgia. Really enjoying getting to know you through watching your new homestead grow. Looking forward to you. That's awesome. Thanks, Judy. Awesome. Probably the funnest thing for me since I started doing this entire YouTube journey, we'll call it, besides my kids going, Dad, that's so cool, when they watch one of the videos and see what I did, is the people that I've met on here. Met him in person. We had lunch together, found out how much we had in common. Jim, Woolly Rhino, Scotty's Backyard Barbecue, who I actually grew up with but never knew he had a channel. Jess here at Rain Dance Bushcraft, met through YouTube. So not only people that I've met, and Mike, of course, from Not So Remote Alaska, but the people from all over the world who have left a comment on my video saying, that was so neat, thank you so much, or who've become as invested in what I am doing right now as I am. And by such have made me more excited about what I'm doing. This has by far been the most fun, and doing these lives is awesome because I get that kind of comment from Trudy right here, right now, and I can thank Trudy for leaving that comment and for saying what she said. That is awesome. I just love it. I smoked a cigar. Does that count? Anything smoked starting with whiskey? I don't know if I've ever had a smoked whiskey, Jess. Mom made Christmas salmon. Topping on for Christmas. Our pie. Y'all are cooking stuff he's never. I don't know what is. Oh, so not concrete for the smokehouse. Maybe it came across wrong. So before I can pour concrete for the sonotubes for the cabin, because I'm going to put the cabin on sonotubes, before the ground thaws out for that, if I get enough of a break, I'm going to build the smokehouse. But the smokehouse won't be built on concrete. I'll probably just build that on skids. More than likely, I'll build that on skids so that I can move it to its final location. When I get it to its final location, I might at that point put it on cinder blocks. But there won't be any concrete on the smokehouse. Is what I was talking about for the cabin when I get that. Awesome. Brienne, Mom and Grandpa wanted to tell you Merry Christmas. They just got here for dinner. Awesome. Tell your mom Merry Christmas. Give her a big hug and a kiss for me. Give Brian a hug for me. Give your grandpa a hug and a kiss for me. Tell him I said Merry Christmas. Burn the inside of the oak barrel that Kentucky bourbon is made in. Any smoke it picks up is just from the charred barrel. Yep. Yeah, right, Bill. It's really a community. Smoked scotch is usually called peated. Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't realize that was smoked. Barley is smoked with peat during the malting process. I have Canadian whiskey that is smoked with peat and applewood. That's interesting. Tubes out of the ground if not done correctly for here in Alaska. Okay, so yeah. So when it comes to the sauna tubes, trust me when I say I'm digging it as deep as it needs to go to get below that frost level. Where I'm at right now, the frost level is about 54 inches, and I'm planning on going deeper than that. And I don't generally on the roads around my area, we don't really have a big issue with frost heaves. So I'm pretty hopeful for that. And we've got quite a few gravel beds, so I can get down to gravel pretty fast. But definitely we'll make sure that I'm all the way down to where I need to be before I pour those sauna tubes. And then they're going to be adjustable as well, so that I can take the adjustments in where I need to avoid the heaves. Dale, I'm doing great, man. I hope you're doing well too. Dale's my ex-father-in-law. Awesome guy. He's the kind of guy that you could talk to for hours and hours and hours because he has done so much and has seen so much in his lifetime that it's just incredible every time you have a conversation with him. Your kid popped her head out of her room wondering what I was cooking. Kids tend to do that, right? When you get older, though, you can do what I do and you pop your head out of the room to see what your kids are cooking. That's awesome. Thank you, Bill. I agree. I concur. Maple syrup stored in a bourbon barrel is delicious. Oh, yeah. Montreal frost line is 4 feet. Whatever that is in inches. It's lower in Alaska. No, so 4 feet is 48 inches. And where I'm at, it's 54 inches. Is the supposedly the borough-wide average frost depth. Well, for my area, 54 inches. So that would be, what, 4.5 feet? Closer to 5 feet. Your kid doesn't cook. That's your fault, Drops. You got to teach them how to cook. You got to teach them a love for food because eventually they're going to be the ones feeding you. And if they can't cook, your old age is going to be miserable. PJ Panda, long-time watcher, first-time chatter. Very awesome. Very awesome, man. I love that for the DJ and me. How about appropriate a couple of thoughts from work and make a smoker like Eric and Ariel made? I could, and I thought about doing that. Theirs, though, is, I think, was always intended to be a temporary structure. And if I can do it, I would rather build the permanent structure first. But do the permanent structure, then I'll probably go the way that Eric and Ariel did and do the temporary one with the pallets, because that was a cool design. That was a sweet design. I'm not going to lie when I say that as I'm planting my garden out here, I'm rewatching all of Eric and Ariel's videos to see how they layered their garden before they planted it. So yeah, I could do that. I don't really have to appropriate. I just tell my boss I'm taking him. He'll say, okay. But if I can't get the permanent one in, then I'll do that for a temporary one this next year so that I can smoke some salmon. When you can no longer cook, your kid is going to drop me off at the old folks home. The color drop. Merry Christmas. Thanks for stopping in. Much appreciated. And PJ, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, yeah. See the wooden side. He says, thank you for kind words. He's keeping it short, but he wanted you to know he's getting his hip replacement. Okay, cool. He's getting his hip replacement to be out there dancing with all the young ladies in no time at all, man, huh? I miss your dad. I miss you guys. I miss your faces. I'll see you again. I'll see you here this soon. What, March, generally speaking, is when I come down. So we'll have to get ready and start putting a trip together, planning a trip together so I can see all you guys. And 3 years later, it's still working great, right, PJ Panda? They are And I can't believe that anybody would watch me that didn't know who Simple Living Alaska is. But those two are pretty incredible with what they get done. And they are just moving from the next step, the next step, the next step, the next step. And then everything they've done before, they just keep using. They just go back and, like PJ Panda was just saying this year, they were fishing in Seward. They were fishing down here on the Kenai. They took all their fish back and they threw it in the same smoker they built 3 years ago, the temporary smoker. Yeah, I rewatch them all the time too. Brewberry One, welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining me today, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Can I bake donuts in a smoker? I imagine you could, but I don't. Again, a smoked donut? That doesn't really come across to me as something good. Yeah, they do. Willie Rhino, they use a variation of lasagna gardening. And that's kind of the variation that I'm going to do a lot of the same stuff that they did when it comes to that. Except my soil's softer than their soil was where they put their garden in. So I probably will rent the till. After I scrape everything down, I'll probably rent the till just to break the soil up to begin with, and then I'll build my garden on top of that. I do, right? She's crazy. I need an aerial. I got to imagine that sometimes Eric is just sitting there sipping his coffee going, ah, and Ariel's all, come on, Eric, we got to go. He's got to be sitting there just going, I just want to finish my coffee. Oh, awesome. The first canned good you tried from Alaska was smoked salmon. Very cool. Said I love everything smoked. I wasn't including donuts, just saying, right? And jelly. I don't think I'd want smoked raspberry jelly. That doesn't really draw my attention. They do, too. Terry made a comment, Eric and Errol have the benefit of being young. I can do a lot of things, and I can keep up with a lot of people half my age. I can keep up with a lot of people in their 20s. A lot of people in their 20s and 30s probably would have a hard time keeping up with some of the stuff I do. The big difference is I go to work every single day, and I have to fit everything that I do in around my work schedule. That is their work schedule because that is their job. They have made it their number one priority in their life, and they made good decisions before they moved up here to put themselves in a position where they could do that. And they have done it very, very well. And by no means would I ever take anything away from what those two have accomplished. Besides their youth and their tenacity to get things done, they are not stupid people. They put themselves in the position they're in so that they could live the life that they want. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do now. And they're awesome on top of it. They're, like I said earlier, they've been so kind and generous with comments and advice to me when I've asked them questions. It's been fantastic. Smoked donuts. Broussard Homestead, Merry Christmas, guys. Thank you very much for your Merry Christmas this morning. I hope you guys had a great day. It was fun. It was nice seeing that pop up on my phone. I love that. Yeah, exactly. They do it full time, and they do it well. And they do very well at it. The thing I like about them is they kind of do what I'm kind of doing what they did. They did what I'm. If you go back and look at their early videos, and you see the progress from when they started way back from their homestead in the lower 48 to now, and you watch one of the recent ones, Ariel is epic with a camera. She gets some of the most beautiful shots I've ever seen. Just incredible. And they do a great job of it. And I am entertained with every one of their videos that I've ever seen. YouTube video on how much they make recently, and suggested somewhere around 1.03 million. Yeah, I don't. So Jim had made that comment. I don't know how much truth you can put into a video that says how much someone made. And usually with those videos come from a website or the data from those videos come from a website called Social Blade. And I'd mentioned earlier the folks I'm going to hang out with on New Year's Eve, Mapleberry Farms, MBF Off Grid. Jeremy was the first one that told me about that. And I checked myself up on that to see how much money I'm making in their estimate. And the number's not as accurate as people would think. Depending on where your viewers are from, you'll make a higher or lower percentage dollar figure. The money part, I don't think that was their intention at all. And I still think that when I watch their videos today, it doesn't come across to me that they're trying to generate money. They're trying to live their life, and they're trying to have fun while they do it. I haven't seen any change from earlier videos to today. So the $1 million a year, I don't know. That'd be an awful lot of money to make and live the lifestyle they're living in Alaska. I mean, if I'm making $1 million a year, I can guarantee you I'll be doing a lot more stuff than I'm doing right now. There'd be a fishing charter video every week or every 2 weeks. It'd be crazy. PJ Panda, they're doing amazing, but you're doing a fantastic job. Even the house enough time at all. Don't hurry too fast. Content. Exactly, right? So that was PJ Panda. And so they hit, like a month ago, they hit 500,000 subscribers. So I sent them an email. I saw it was coming. I knew it was going to happen. Sent them an email and I said, congratulations to you guys. I saw you hit 500,000 subscribers. So fantastic. You guys deserve it so much. Great, super, super happy for your success. Love your videos. Ariel emailed me back and said, Sean, thank you so much. You're doing the same thing we were doing. It's so awesome to see somebody else doing it. Feel free to reach out if you need anything. That's the kind of people they are. Awesome, awesome folks. Christmas tree video is a parody there. What's the name of their channel? Simple Living Alaska. And they are super, super, super fun to watch. If you want to learn how to do gardening, hunting, processing of meat, shoot, Eric builds everything. That guy he's got no fear when it comes to building a project. They're a great channel to watch, and they did buy a remote off-grid cabin that they bring their snow machines in the winter up a river to get to, that they flew into on a float plane this summer. That is makes me look not remote at all. It makes me look like I live in the city. They're a great channel to watch. Great people. Didn't know you knew Jeremy and Ashley. They're another great couple of folks. Like to meet up with one of these days. Oh, you were discharged from the Army. Yeah, Jeremy and Ashley are. So when Jeremy goes live and we start the banter back and forth in the chat, Jeremy will start going, and that idiot in Alaska wears a kilt. He goes, well, we're all idiots. We've all decided that all of us idiots are going to commune on Sean's property and we're all going to wear kilts. Yeah, the channel is Simple Living Alaska. I think there's only 2 videos I didn't like of Eric and Ariel's. One was where they didn't talk at all. Didn't like the fact they didn't talk. And there was another one, but don't remember. So yeah, I got some questions on that for some of my videos too. So you'll see some of my more recent videos in the past, well, the second half of this year. There are a few videos where I really didn't say anything at all. And that was because I was trying to get something done and I couldn't stop and explain it as well to get it done and still get a video out in time. For me, by myself, that kind of content I think works. For them, because they're husband and wife and because their channel is them together, I can see where that would not be as good of a video for somebody who watched those two together, because they always have some banter and they always have, talk and chat and laughter. And so I could see where that would be very different from what they normally do. So I could see how that could be an issue for them. Oh, nice. They were how you found them. Very cool. Awesome. I like that. That's very cool. I have a feature on my YouTube studio, which is where creators go to find out how they're doing, where their stats are with their channel and everything else. But I have a feature on there that will say to me, people who view your channel also following channels. And it's pretty cool to me as a creator doing what I'm doing to see that the people who view my channel also view the channels that I like to watch. So I'm like, very cool. So intentionally, I wanted to be like some of these other channels that I've watched because I like what they do. And it's come across that obviously I've kind of gotten to where I wanted to be content-wise and personality-wise and everything else, because the people that watch the channels that I wanted to be like also watch my channel, if that makes sense. And that was a very, very cool thing to see. It's always nice, though, when you show up on the right of a channel that big as a suggested video, because it means the channel's going to grow. The Tinker's Wife, Merry Christmas. I'm glad you could make it in. I'm glad you could spend some time with me on Christmas. I hope your day was wonderful. Yeah, Doug and Stacy. I've left a couple of comments on videos for Doug and Stacy, and I don't watch them as much. I enjoy watching them when I can. But I left a couple of comments that kind of made fun of something Doug had said in a jokingly way. Like it wasn't making fun of it to make fun of it. It was kind of carrying the humor on with it. And Doug commented right back and just followed right along. It was great. He seemed like a nice guy. Yeah, they're humor and banter, right? PJ Panda. That's some people. It would be like anybody who, like I said, MBF Off Grid or Broussard's Homestead, right? If you're watching, if you're watching the Broussards and they're all silent, nobody's talking to anybody during the whole thing, it won't feel right because so much of who they are is together. That when you don't see that, it something just feels off. And MBF Off Grid, same way. If they're not bandering, making fun of each other, it's not right. It just doesn't feel like who they are to begin with. So I can see where that would be a huge issue. If you watch one or two videos, you'll be hooked. Yep, exactly. Very true. Not so remote. Very true. Man, I lost a lot of chat here. I got to talking too much. Let me sneak down. Terry Burns, MBF is MBF Off Grid. So look up Mapleberry Farms or MBF Off Grid, and you'll see who we're talking about. It's Jeremy and Ashley, and they're super nice people. Heaven's Essentials, Merry Christmas. Glad you could make it. Thanks for joining me. I will. If I head up that way, though, I'm probably only going to make it to the Arm. I probably won't make it into Anchorage, only because I won't get out of town until about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. I like to make sure I have video that launches every Sunday, and I like as many comments as possible. So I wouldn't even be up to the Arm until probably about 2, because I can't drive past some of those areas without getting out and using the camera. So we'll have to hook up. I'm probably going to be at the Alaska Beer and Barley Wine Festival, pouring for Kenai River Brewing Company in January. I'll have to look at the dates, but we'll hook up sometime around there for sure. Just don't sell out and start doing these stupid promotions or sponsorships. I hate them with a passion and end up blocking the channel. So I'll speak to that real quick. Everybody who does YouTube, if they get any kind of success at all, and by success, I mean you get 200 to 300 to 400 subscribers, you start getting offers. To date, I've had maybe 30 offers. It's nothing I would use. If I'm ever going to endorse anything on this channel, it would be something that I would actually use on this property. I'm not into all that endorsement stuff. Now, if, one of these jackery companies reaches out to me and gives me, something to try here on the property, and I try it, you're going to get the good, the bad, the ugly, the 100% truth of it, but it's not going to be a whole video based on it. I just couldn't do that. That's not me, and that's not what the channel's about. So I could not agree with you more. There were a couple of channels that I quit watching specifically because they just went off the deep end with, it was like, who could we endorse this week? And that's not me at all. And if I'm going to endorse anything, then they're going to have to give me something that I can give to you to make it worth your while to listen to the pitch in the first place. But yeah, you'll never see me do anything on here that I would not 100% wholeheartedly go to the store and look to buy myself. It just wouldn't happen. Cat Mac, Merry Christmas. Glad you could make it. Thanks for joining me. I've only got like about 10 minutes left here, so I'm going to blast through some of these comments. I don't think, oh, I'm not that far behind. I'm in good shape right now. Cool. I will. I'll email you and we'll swap numbers, swap contact info. It is, right? It's like watching an infomercial. It should not. So I'm going to harsh on a channel and not harsh on the channel at the same time. First, I will say that I enjoy watching Kyle's Cabin. Has shown me more about how to build a cabin, structurally sound, super quick, than probably any channel I've ever watched. Him and his girlfriend are just incredible. He's got a great personality. He goes to town when he explains something. It's upfront and easy. But it wasn't Goal Zero. It was like a Jackery. It was like one of these. He did a couple of videos on those Jackery type things. I forget which one it was, but it was one I was actually looking at. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to watch the video, and he's going to test it and talk about it, and I'll get see how it works. But I'm also going to find out more about his cabin. That whole video was nothing but about that one thing that he got. And I go, oh, okay, I learned something about that piece of equipment, but okay, we'll stop that. And then he did another one on an upgraded or in a smaller version of it a couple of weeks later. And so I started to watch that, and I had to stop because it was the same thing. He was telling me everything he'd already told me in the one before. But he's a great channel. But you can see how that can go south on you so quick. And I'm sure he felt obligated to give these guys the bang for the buck because they hooked him up with that equipment. But again, I'm going to use Jeremy and Ashley at MBF. So they use the same type of thing. And I'm just drawing Jackery is just the thing stuck in my head right now, but theirs is not a Jackery either. But they use it on their site all the time. And so they'll point it out while they're doing their work. He'll hook up his skill saw to it. He'll say, yeah, we're using this again today. It holds a charge. It's doing great. And blah, blah, blah. And he'll go out and do his job. But then he turned around and gave one away to a viewer from the company. They shipped it directly to one of his viewers. That's the kind of stuff I would probably do, as opposed to what, Kyle's Cabin had to do. Again, I'm not slamming Kyle's Cabin because that's a great channel. But yeah, I could see where that went completely south. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if he intended it to go that way. And I from watching his videos, I think he wanted to make sure that he gave them a fair shake for sponsoring him. Yeah, that won't happen to me. I'm not going to do that. Not here. An infomercial. We got that one. Right. And so the other comment too that I'll make here as we're getting down to like the last 5 minutes is, since I've been monetized, I have commercials on there. So they said, where do you want to place the commercials? I said, well, place them everywhere you want to place them. I have the ability to adjust that, reduce that, pull that out. I haven't seen it affect my watch time on my videos. If anything, my watch time has gone up lately as opposed to going down. But if I get anybody coming to me and saying, dude, there's way too many commercials on your videos right now, you can bet that I'll make a change on that, because I'm doing this whole project out of my pocket, and I'd be doing it if I wasn't on YouTube. And to me, this is just a bonus. So let me know if there's too many intensive commercials, or if there's maybe some commercials on there that are not kosher. Let me know. I would love to get that information. I don't know what I can do about it, but I'll make something happen. Trust me. Oh, you're driving back to West Virginia that day? Okay. Back to the folks. Just got corned beef chopped up and film for your corned beef canning vid. Oh, yum, fat man. Yeah, I was going to stay on. Normally I'm on until 4 o'clock anyway on Saturday, so I figured I'd stay on until 4 today. So I'm out of here in just a few minutes. Yeah, I know she's a native. Yep. She has her own channel. I heard that too. I haven't seen her channel yet. I've been amazed by what Kyle has done at Kyle's cabin. That kid is than me as a kid. So not derogatory at all. He's just, like I said, he's fun to watch, and the way he explains things are so down to earth, simple, A, B, C, done. You always block the non-skippable ads? Way too many commercials on my channel. Yeah, I'm not going to test somebody's travel trailer because trailer, and I will build a cabin. I figure if I make this thing as uncomfortable as I possibly can for myself, it's incentive to build the cabin faster. I don't know how soon I'll get the inside finished. Once I have the cabin up, then it's not like no rush, right? It'll be fun though in the winter trying to get finishing out the kitchen, and it's going to be, the ideas I have in my head for that kitchen are going to be beautiful. It will make a professional chef jealous when I'm done. Trust me, it'll make people in the food industry jealous when I'm done with that thing. Oh, off-grid living with Sierra. Okay. Yeah, the non-skippable ads are pretty short. As a courtesy, because I do create videos now and I understand what the ads do, I will watch most of the ads that are on YouTube videos, unless they're the super long ones, and then I'll watch the first 30 seconds of it, and then I'll skip if I can skip. But yeah, generally speaking, I've never seen anything that negative that turned me off from a channel as far as just the regular ads that pop up with YouTube. It's like watching television, right? You can't watch a TV show without seeing an ad every 10 minutes. So yeah. And Fat Man Prepper, you have a point there. A lot of times I'll see the ads and I just saw that ad 3 channels ago. Takes a lot to make videos, time and equipment. You deserve to make something. I watch the ads as long as that. Awesome. Exactly. Yeah. Same thing, right? And that's how I think is, it takes somebody a lot of time to create the content that they create. If I know they're making money on it, I'll do what I can to support them. I'll share some videos that I watch that are, just freaking awesome. I'll share with friends on my personal Facebook page. Say, you got to go check this out. This is just a blast. These guys are just so fun. People get fat after a month of eating it. Nice, right, Drops? You funny when the long ads come on. Oh my gosh. That is funny. All right, guys, we're hitting the final. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today on Christmas. I hope your Christmas was fantastic. I hope this next week is awesome, and I hope your New Year's is wonderful as well, and that 2020 for you and your families. Thank you guys for joining me. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm going to go watch Jess at Rain Dance Bushcraft give something away. Merry Christmas, guys. I'm out of here.